What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Maz's Toy Photography Talk. And tonight we have Collectors.Orbit, our very own Collectors.Orbit from Instagram. David, what's up? How you doing tonight?
Not bad. How are you all? Thanks for having me.
That's you, David, in the chat, right? David V, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just so people know. Nobody said hello to you, so just point it out.
Sorry, I'm new to this, so I'm trying to see the chat. Oh yeah,
no, that's good. I'm sounding kind of shallow, he says. All right. Man, I was really hoping to use this microphone. All right. I got to change this up. 1 second. I might be muted for a second. I apologize. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah. So I don't have any of this just going straight by the laptop.
All right. So, yeah, I got to get a real microphone for this. The one that comes with is garbage. So, there we go. It's, my buddy sent me this free lavalier mic, so I'll be able to do photography and talk. But I now need to find a longer USB cable so my camera can still connect and stream over where I shoot photos at. So, but yeah, this is cool. So, Dave, how long have you been doing this toy photography stuff? You know this toy photography stuff.
I think I started in I think it was June, must have been 2020. So it was during lockdown that I started. Yeah.
Because you were locked down as well? Is that also why?
No, well, yeah. Well, it was mostly something to do, but I kind of started my Instagram as to just showcase my collection. I was like, I'll just take a photo of this statue or figure on a shelf, and that'll just be my Instagram. And very quickly, obviously, discovered toy photography, which I'd seen before, and I was like, man, that's so cool. And then I was kind of like, oh, do you know what? Actually, I'm going to try putting them in like a little setting and taking a photo from there. And then it just grew arms and legs, and then here I am now. I think I posted a total of about 2 shelf pictures before I went into toy photography properly.
Well, I noticed you pretty early, man. I mean, I started talking to you in 2020, and
yeah, I think you were one of the first people that I really kind of started talking to when I kind of started up.
Yeah, you got a great eye for your shots, man. In fact, you even told me when I showed you that that Boba Fett versus or standing off with the Predator, you're like, you need to light that up more. And I disagree with you. And then Instagram has told me that they agree with you. It's like way down on the totem pole. I'm like, but it's got a Predator. You guys should love this. But no.
But then it's each eye to itself. You know, I mean, some people like, I like using my shadows. Like I have started to try and lighten up my shots a bit more. Still kind of keep the darker tones and keep the shadows, but just kind of overall lighten the image. Like I did a couple of shots, and I was just after it was posted, I was looking at it, I was like, man, that's just so just dark and gray and dull kind of thing. But I don't know, like, and some of the pictures I thought that did really, really well, but just in myself, I didn't feel happy with that and started, like I kind of feel like at the moment my style's kind of going back to what I used to be more, but just seems to be kind of doing better than what it did.
Well, we can pull up one of your newest shots here. Let me find it here. I gotta go this way, I think. Didn't you sent me the newest shot, right?
I tagged you in one.
It's the man. No, I meant when you sent me these pictures, didn't you send me the Mando one?
No, I don't think so.
No. Well, phooey. All right. No worries. We can get around this. That's okay.
The joys of technology.
But since we're talking about what you're doing now, I thought I should bring that up. So give me a second. Let me pull you up. Pull up your Instagram.
Sorry, just reading the comments. Yes, I am from Scotland. But I'm trying to speak so people can understand me.
Okay, you got another new one. All right, I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah, I literally just posted one right before I came on.
All right, well we'll start with this one then. This is your newest shot. You just posted this today.
Yeah, just like honestly right before I came on.
Man, your use of, and you're still using your vape for fog, right? That heavy.
Yeah, always that
vape stuff.
I don't think I've ever done a shot without vape in it.
Well, yeah. Well, I've slowed down on the vape because now I've got a hazer, but you really make it really smooth. What kind of shutter speeds do you usually shoot these at?
I mess around with it. It all depends on kind of what my focus is. I'll sometimes kind of go up. It depends. If, like some of my Witcher shots, I really want that kind of misty, swampy look. So I went with a really long shutter, maybe just about like 2 seconds.
Okay.
And then other ones are maybe about half a second is kind of about the fastest I'll go. I don't do much with rain. I used to play with it a lot, and it never worked for me. Like I just couldn't get it work. Or if I got the rain looking right, I didn't like the lighting of the shot. So I gave up the rain.
Well, the rain, you have to have a faster shutter speed, and then you need.
And then I'm just not used to that now, and then I don't know how to light my figures to work for that.
Well, you also for rain specifically, I haven't done it yet because from what I've seen, and maybe somebody watching might know better, but what I've seen is you kind of need a flash to catch rain properly. If you want to do that rain effect, because the light is bright enough, you need that intense bright.
Yeah, or like a really strong backlight, I think is kind of a lot of the key of it and stuff.
Yeah.
But then I always find I'll get that strong backlight, but then I'm not really capturing the overall picture that I like. Like I'm wanting to kind of maybe pick up background elements and things. Like it definitely can be done. It just doesn't work for me. And then by the time I kind of start getting it what I'm wanting to look like, everything's soaking, and I give up.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was talking actually to Daniel today about potentially coming on, but he's in Germany right now, so his timing is just way off for me right now. I guess it's like another couple hours. And,
I think it's not too far off of mine. I think it's only about an hour, maybe 2 hours difference from
that
here.
His living situation alone just really wouldn't garner for him being up those hours and talking on the stream. So
yeah.
But he does a lot of that rain effect.
Oh yeah, he's absolutely got it mastered.
That's like all he does is rain effect, and but so hopefully one day we'll get him on here. We can talk to him about it because that's what I would like to work on as well. I've done snow, but it's again you got to speed up the shutter speed, and you lose so much light when you do that, and I'm having a hard time balancing those. In fact, when we go over my shot I did today, you'll see that my ISO is like 6400. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But back to this one. So you like to use your NECA stuff. I still haven't got those damn turtles, and I can never find them. And which alien is that, actually? That's
the sewer mutant, which, if I believe correctly, was inspired by an old 80s episode of the Turtles, like the animated show, where they had the pizzas, and then it had like this radioactive meatballs on it that turned into meatball monsters. And those meatball monsters were kind of like yellow xenomorphs. So NECA did kind of a style xenomorph, but more yellow, to kind of a kind of wink to that. And I only just recently was able to pick this guy up. I kind of found him unopened, secondhand on Facebook. So I jumped on that. So I had to obviously do a turtle crossover.
There we go. So
I only just shot this a few hours ago as well. It was like a quick shot in the evening before dinner, and then quickly posted.
I wish you could pause the Instagram story or reels or whatever these are called, so you can like take a look at like a setting or something.
Yeah.
Like here, like you're at F14. What's that 1.3? I didn't quite catch what that 1.3 was.
Oh, that'll be the shutter speed.
Shutter speed, okay.
So I went for a higher focus on this, but it was just to try and kind of get a little bit more details of the turtles like in there rather than being like total blur. Yeah.
No, I like this one a lot, man. And there's your vape. My God, don't your lungs kill you after a while? I know they did for me. It was one of the reasons why I switched to the Ace machine.
A little bit, yeah.
But ISO 200, man, look at that. You got so much light in there. Now,
and that's rare for me. I never ever go up from 100. I wanted usually there. If I'm just like, no, this is too dark, but I need that shutter speed, I would have just tightened in the focus. But I wanted that focus for the turtles, so that was a very rare time that I jumped up to 200.
Yeah, I need to upgrade for my Loom cubes I found today when I was trying to shoot mine, because I mean I had in order to get the shutter speed I needed to catch the motion that I was using in the shot. I had to be at least at 125 shutter, and I didn't have the light. I really didn't. So I've gone through and post and like edited as much of the noise as I could, but I think the shot still still works, but for me when I'm editing it, it drives me nuts seeing all that grain. So, but I'm turned over here watching this footage.
Yeah, so. I'm half trying to read comments and stuff as well. Yeah, I don't like using green often. It's not usually my friend.
No, I usually go with a blue and then color correct it later if I want that green. I'll play with the color correction there because that way I can pick my level of involvement with green. Because green is a weird color to work with. It can really make some things off-putting.
Yeah, I did kind of a little while ago decide to start trying to replaying with it. I did like a shot with Alien. It was kind of like Alien Isolation inspired, and it was just the Alien, and it was just the whole shot was green. I think I maybe had 2 green lights, but I just had one upper white light on the Alien, and it just kind of broke up that one color. Because I like kind of picking up the edges and having like the different things, and that one kind of worked.
Yeah, which is something with green you have to worry about because the color of that Alien, you could totally lose that green and really just oversaturate the Alien with that if you don't.
Yeah, so I just gave him a white light and it really took out the dome and everything, and it kind of worked. That was one of the ones I was like, oh, okay, cool. I'm getting the hang of green.
Yeah, that's one thing that a lot of new photographers actually don't realize is that when you're using these different colored gels, or just different colored lights in general, a lot of the times you don't want to go straight with just that color because it oversaturates. You want to throw in a little bit of white to kind of cut that a little bit. It's like putting some water in your alcohol. You're just kind of cutting it a bit.
Yeah, even when I've got colors, and I always at least have a white light somewhere. Even if it's just going on the character, just to dilute and bring up that natural colors of the character and the figure and things. Because pretty much that overhead light I've got on the turtles there, that's pretty much white. I've maybe got like a blue gel just like quarter of the way in it. Yeah, you can see like there's a blue gel kind of hanging out of it. So, but mostly it's white, just with a little bit of blue in it.
Yeah, I like my blues. I really do like those cool, nighttime feels.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I wanted to point out before I saw that you put up a new one today, and apparently everybody's going nuts because the Hot Toys Mysterio just went waitlist on Sideshow's website.
Oh yeah, I was seeing that on the side.
Look at this, man. I mean, and you're shooting in the Black Series scale here, man. I mean, this.
Yeah,
this
well, that Mando's the it's the Mafex one.
Oh, Mafex. Okay, but still, it's a 7-inch figure as opposed to And I mean, just it's awesome. And now here's something that I could use some help with too, and maybe some others. How are you doing the blaster fire? I know that's Photoshop, but can you explain to me the process?
No, it's real lasers. I still don't think I've got the hang of it right. Pretty much what I do is in Photoshop, so I'll just draw a white line, and then I pretty much put on like a blur around, like a glow around it, and then just start using motion blur and blurs to kind of soften it and things, and then just kind of use my transform tool to maybe like kind of thin it out, stretch it out. I still don't think I've got it perfected, but yeah, it's better than what I used to do.
Yeah, blaster fire is really difficult. Now, you also, I would assume, did another layer with some red on top of the white lines, right?
Yeah, so pretty much on the one layer in Photoshop, pretty much where I draw the white line, I just like if you double click it, then it comes up with like options to do like a glow around it. Is one of the ways. And the other way I could see doing it would be the same way that people do the their lightsabers, is pretty much doing was it like 3 or 4 duplicates of the one layer, and then blurring each one more and more and more, and then obviously having the outer ones colored. Okay. And then I'm assuming they add like motion blur or stretch out to make it seem.
Well, that's a little different than what I do, so maybe I'll share that with you. Of course, my blasters, I haven't done enough of them to really turn out like you have the motion of them really well. But the way I do lightsabers and whatnot in Photoshop is, of course, I'll use that white line and blur it, but then I'll add a new layer, and then I'll take the paintbrush out and do like 70 or 80% of whatever color I want that blade or blaster to be.
Okay.
And just paint a straight line down, down the length of the the white line. And of course blur that a little bit, and then layer it again, but bring the opacity down even further to, like, say I started at 60, I'll go down to half at 30% and make that bigger, because that red, like for example, the red's going to be casting further and further. It's just going to get weaker and weaker as it goes out.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the other version of seeing a lightsaber that I've seen. which I tried to do, and I don't know, I just find it really overcomplicated. And then for what I was doing with my lightsabers, I was like, this works, and it's so much easier.
Yeah. There's multiple ways to do it. There's multiple ways to do it.
Pretty much the same way I do my my blasters, my lightsabers, and like anything with like glowing eyes and like my predator shots, I do them all the same. I just kind of maybe blur them or fade them a little bit more or less, depending on what it is or what the scene calls for.
But yeah, a big misconception a lot of people have when they start doing this stuff and they start adding these effects and stuff is they'll paint the thing that, you know, like the blade or the blaster, you know, fire, the color that is supposed to be, and not put that white in there first, because you gotta, people don't understand is that center is hot and hot is white. So
that's what I was doing wrong with like my predators with glowing eyes for a long time. I was just doing like the eye red, say, and then having that red glow around it, and I was just never kind of getting it. And I did it, and it was kind of like, oh, that's good and stuff, but it never felt right. And I don't know where or how. I don't know if I saw it somewhere, or if I just kind of clicked to me one day. I was like, oh, white. And I think I even do it now, that I'll do the shape of the eye in a lighter or desaturated version of the red, and then I'll do the glow as a red. And then I'll go in and just put like very faintly, just start putting in a white and building it up until I kind of feel that it's right.
And I do that with layers. The way I do it is just like I do with my lightsabers. I'll do it with layers. I'll do that white, and then I'll start and I'll even use the blend mode. So instead of just doing a normal, I'll do like a color dodge or what's the other one? The add one right there near color dodge. Anyway, I'll play with those, and it'll get the effects that I want usually. And then you also play with the opacities and the fills, and get some stuff there. But no, you knocked it out of the park. I think the laser fire turned out really good. I keep expecting this to start moving.
Really a really simple setup. I just thought of that one at work. I think I stumbled across a bit of artwork and something. I was like, that'd be a really cool shot. And I kind of got home a little bit earlier from work, and I just kind of quickly battled it out.
Now, where are you getting your diorama pieces from? Is this from Daniel?
Or is no, I just made those ones.
Okay. Because I just tried to make some broken wall, and the broken bit here looks a lot better.
No, they're just both 2 bits of styrofoam that came out of like a package, and I just kind of stuck the 2 corner bits together, and then just kind of painted them a few different washes, and kind of really kind of give it like a wet black, and kind of let it run down to kind of give it that dirty, you know, because obviously it was kind of more designed to be like a concrete work site kind of idea, or subway or something.
In-camera explosion, what is that? Just cotton?
Just a bit of a lamp that I've got, and it's just it's actually like the top half of like a Coke bottle. Just cut that off, hot glued on cotton balls, and then I just give it a kind of light spray of orange with a little kind of spray of black, and then I just put a couple of orange gels in it, or under the light, and then pop on top of the light. I didn't kind of go too orange with it, because my idea originally was I could put like green gels under it and have it like be poison clouds for like a Joker shot and things.
Oh, definitely. Reuse.
I don't think I've ever actually done.
Your battery is about dead on your vape, though, I see.
Yeah. That's often an issue. It's either the camera or the vape or the lights that go. I've often seen when it's almost as I've got the shot done, and I kind of run through to the missus from the garage, and I'm like, give me your vape quick. I've almost got the shot. I just need 1 or 2 more attempts.
For my camera, actually, I keep that plugged into the wall. I have a power adapter for my camera.
It doesn't seem to work with my one. When I plug into the wall, like I can't, it just doesn't work. It doesn't charge a battery or run power into the camera for some reason.
Yeah, my Canon can run right off of it. And now there is a problem. Like if I were to pick the camera up or something, that plug, because it's on the bottom, can sometimes come loose. So then you got to plug it back in. And of course, you got to reset your camera and all that stuff. But yeah, dude. There's just some sick stuff here, man. I love it. Now, I got some close-ups. This is what? No. Well, we'll go to this. This is your baby though. This is one of my favorites. Now, that's your NECA Alien Queen. What Darth Vader is this?
That was the Black Series Darth Vader.
Okay. Dude, I love it. And of course I see your tree.
I don't know what that was. It's a kitchen roll tube, just with some hot glue and painted. But I think I made it from a different dial, but those ones were painted gray to be like pillars. And I don't know, I was playing around with that shot a lot, and I just thought about putting something in the background.
Lose my connection.
And I think I did take them out, but then this ended up being my favorite pick, so I just went with it.
All right. Did I drop for a second, or I heard like a noise?
No.
All right. Whatever. Yeah, I love this. And then, of course, you got your Ember effects, which is just, Photoshop again. And you, I think you did this one layer, though. You didn't put a layer behind your figures and stuff for the Ember.
No, just one layer. Like, usually if I'd put like embers and stuff in the background, and then I'd obviously erase it away from the in front of the character.
Yeah.
I think I maybe erased little ones around the kind of top half of his body, just to kind of keep it clear. But no, I was just kind of off on one by that point. Just kind of, that's going to look cool. That's going to make it more epic. I'll do this. I'll do that.
Dude, I love your shots, man. I love them. That's the problem with shooting in 6 scale for me, though, is just trying to put together scenes. I mean, you're talking about 6 scale. That's huge stuff you're working with at that point. I mean, just the wall is like 2 feet tall. That's 2 feet of space. I got to have
especially
that for
shooting from like a downward angle. Because even I'm at that point now where I'm wanting to start shooting up at things, and then I'm like, oh no, by the time I have my dial far enough back to create good depth, actually most of the dial's not even seen, so I'm wanting to start kind of getting things taller, to create that like bigger backgrounds. So yeah, must be a nightmare.
Taller is then you're going to shoot the ceiling because there's nothing to block the ceiling.
Yeah,
you're like, damn it. I've actually figured out a way to solve that. So let me move into something I was working on today. Real quick, we'll segue over to this. This is the shot I did today. This is all in camera with the exception of the explosion effect. And this is that one I had to shoot at 6400.
Yeah.
So, but I built that wall last night. And as you notice, it looks kind of cheeky around the, usually I got you on here and start saying your terms. It's a little weird here on the crack. But the reason I shot it, I had to shoot it at 125 frames per second because I got, debris here.
Yeah.
That I was trying to capture the motion of that breaking away, getting blown off by the plasma blaster from the predator behind there.
So you just like throwing in some stuff?
Yeah. I just put it in my hand, threw it in. I tried like a cup at first. I was like, this would work better because that way I don't drop some of it on accident. But it kept hitting the top of the cup and would like just kind of bleh. It's not coming out. But I did my behind the scenes for this as well.
Did you say the blast was done in post?
Yeah, the blast is some sparks effect.
That looks really good. At first glance, I would have thought you'd actually used like a sparkler in there.
Well, thank you.
Like my initial reaction was that's done real.
No,
it really just has that sparkler look to it.
Yeah, let me find my video of this real quick. So here's the video, and I got a light up here. This is a blue light here. This is one of the newers that I have, and then
That's good lights. Those newer, so I've had them since almost the started.
This I had built this specifically to try to catch light beams.
Yeah.
With the fog machine, it hasn't worked yet. So, but it has become like the poor man's grid. It's become like a poor man's grid. So when you get down to Boba, see how the lights just easy. And then I got another Lume Cube. I think I filmed it. So over to the right. It's so dark you can't see it, but it's see the stand right there.
Yeah,
that's shooting the light directly on the brake. And then it's so dark in here. There's the hazer. I don't know if you can see it.
With the white writing on it.
Yeah. There's the Lume Cube there. So that's just shooting light onto the exploded part right there onto that wall. I even made some like rebar, but you can't really see it in the shot. But so I had my ISO on auto for this shot because I couldn't get it. And it's shooting at 250 frames per second for this particular shot, which really my ISO ended up being 6400, which because Lightroom will tell you all those settings.
Yeah.
Even though my camera just says auto, I was like, how useful.
And at least that way you kind of know for next time. You're kind of like, okay, cool. So that's what I need to kind of try and capture that.
But the thing is if you see it in hand, I had to do a lot of post work just to get a lot of that grain out. It was just, I mean, and it's still there. I mean, I'm seeing it. I can't help but see it. It's driving me nuts. But the hazer has been paying off in spades, man. I mean, I still vape, but I don't use this anymore because it's, really, really thick. Let me go over to this guy here. Hold on. Let me remove that. And so this is from the hazer. Look at the subtle haze.
Yeah. What frame? What shutter speed was that?
That was at. Oh, this is the wrong app. Hold on. Let me grab this one. You're over there. Oh snap. Actually, it's on my Instagram because I always post that stuff on Instagram. Let me find it. Instagram. Sorry, guys. I'll be right with you here as I find this information for Dave. Shutter speed is 0.5 seconds. So
How long, sorry?
I'm sorry?
Sorry, say that again.
0.5 seconds shutter, 5.6 and ISO 100.
Oh, wow.
But it gives you that nice soupy look, and I love it.
Yeah.
That type of fog look. It was what I used when I did one of my favorite shots. If I can find it. Well, this would be a good one. Again, this is from the haze machine there.
Yeah.
And I go through fluid relatively slowly. In fact, I just now topped it off over the past year or so. I've had the machine. I just topped it off for a second time.
I know I do that when I'm shooting with my my vape, and I'm really into it, and I'm like, no, because a lot of times I've got everything set up, the light's right, but I'm just trying to get the smoke right, and then I'm kind of concentrating. I take a big puff, and then realize the fluid's run out and kind of burn my lungs.
Again, this is with the hazer here.
Yeah.
But my favorite one was this one. This is by far my favorite shot I've taken in any type of recent memory.
Yeah, I like that. I like that kind of, that like the mist and the atmosphere and stuff. It's something. Even the shots that I kind of don't have that much vape in, I always have something in just to kind of like fill in the air a bit.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm in love with a hazer. It's something I would recommend. But enough about me. We've gone over my shot for today. Back to you.
Oh no.
But so you're using the vape here though, and you got a good haze here. Actually, it's actually really nice and smooth. Did you do any post to that haze?
No, I think relatively this shot was pretty untouched, apart from the lightsaber and the embers, and maybe just a bit of like darkness and contrast and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I try and do everything in camera. Like a lot of times, if I'm like, "Oh, this is too dark," like instead of being like, "Oh, I can correct that in post, I'll make it darker." I try and kind of really get all my colors, my lighting, and everything. I try and get it all right in there, and then I'm kind of just add in the special effects, like lightsabers and embers and things. I will use wires and things, and I'll just take them out. But the least the kind of atmosphere and smoke and everything, I try and like I don't really blend images together either. Like what Jared was saying last week, obviously he would do like a bit of explosion at one side, and then he'd do it kind of the other side, and then he would marry the pictures up together in post. Like, I don't know, it never works for me. I don't know if it's just because I know it's there when I see it. I'm like, no, I don't. That you can see that those are
borders. Like you can see like the borders when you're doing the masking of like how it's not in the same lighting as the other thing, even though you might have shot the same focal points or whatever.
Almost, or it's because I always use my smoke in it as well. Yeah. One of the shots will have a deep smoke one place and not the other, and then it doesn't blend.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really hard to work with that particular tactic for you and I because we like to use the haze and smoke effects. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just it makes it much harder to blend things together.
So I think I gave up with it about a year ago. I tried to do like a really epic turtle shot. We had kind of the 4 turtles, but there was kind of like one really close in the foreground, kind of, they're really kind of going back into the distance with one sitting on like a water tower in the back. And I was like, right, I'm going to shoot each one. But obviously I had the whole set done, but I was like, I'll do my focus on each one and then put the pictures together so it's all nice. And I just didn't like it. It just didn't work. Wasn't happy with it. I didn't even reshoot it. I think I went back and tried reshooting it and I just hated it. And I've pretty much never gone back to trying to do that again.
And this is one of the reasons why I curse that I shoot hot toys, because the fact that it's so difficult to layer things like that with the haze and stuff, I can't do like a swarm of aliens around somebody.
Yeah.
I only have 2 aliens. I either need to buy more or go back down to 7-inch figures. Okay, I got a few questions here we should get to.
Actually, I think that is the only couple of times that I have married 2 shots together. It was one of my Witcher ones. I got one creature from The Shape of Water, and I kind of did the shot to have 2 of them in.
Is that in here?
I don't think I sent it over, but it is on my Instagram.
There's a Witcher shot. Did you send me more than one? I forget. We'll go through more of these, but man, look at it. Jesus. I hate you. I can't make that queen do anything for me, man. I've basically given up on her. She looks so fake. Oh, there we go. That is awesome. But all right, let's get some of these questions out of the way, and then we'll come back to these. CT603 asking how much the hazer was and what brand are you using. It's a Chauvet, or however you say it, and it's like $250. It's a haze machine. They're not cheap, but if you're buying aerosol every, I don't know how often you would have to buy it, but I considered the option of aerosol because I was tired. My lungs were tired of vaping all the time and doing that. I considered my options, and I figured aerosol cans are like $20-$30 a piece. I can't imagine they last that long with the amount of haze that I would like to try to use. So I went with the haze machine. Don, I missed your question earlier. I apologize, Don. Let me find your actual question and not Cigars and Bacon's question for your. All right, there we go. Don Prime says he needs to buy a new camera. Do you have any suggestions? What do you like to shoot on? That's probably a good question for the audience anyway.
Well, I have a Nikon, but it's not even mine. So I don't have a camera.
All right, then.
My friend liked my photos. I went, here, use my camera. But no, I was on my phone for ages. But I think any camera, anything will work. I've kind of always been a firm believer as well that even on your phone you can get fantastic shots. It's like the lighting and the composition that really kind of brings the photo to life.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a big camera whiz kid, so I wouldn't know what to suggest. Whatever's in your budget, like don't bankrupt yourself on buying something. Whatever's in your budget, and you'll still be able to make magic.
And do you have any of your shots on here that are from your phone, by the way? Was that the Vader one's pretty early one? Was that one?
Not that I've sent you, but I do have ones on my Instagram that was a good portion of my early work was still done on my phone.
All right, we'll take a scroll down on Instagram here in a minute and take a look. But for me to field that question for Don, it really comes down to what you want to use the camera for, Don. If you want to just take pictures, then yeah, you could really use, and even if you don't want to just take pictures, you want to just do video or whatever, you can use whatever you want, but you got to figure out what features drive you as far as what a camera offers. Now, for me, I like these little Canon M50s. They're cheap. They got, 24 megapixel, and I can put lenses on them, really nice lenses actually. So it works pretty well for me. There are better options that I want from a YouTube side because I want to be able to do 120 frames per second at 1080p or something. But that's when the money starts to come in. So the Canon M50 is a great introduction camera for anything. But then again, that's all I have to work with other than the phone. So my opinion is a little biased because that's all I've used. But if your phone sucks and you want to get a camera, I like this camera for the price personally. So a lot of people tend to use it for everything. H Green, he says he uses a Canon Rebel T6, which he says is good enough for what he wants to use. So it's all whatever you get your hands on and what does what you want it to do. You have to figure out what you want it to do first. But let's take a look at your Instagram here, sir. If I can find the window, where, man, everything's moved around here. Aha! All right, we're gonna
pretty far down though to find a camera shot.
It's gonna have to do this reload thing that it does,
Yeah.
I lost my windows here. There we go. But there we go. I started talking to Nomad today. He's one of your followers, and now he started following me.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's watching. He's a really cool guy. He says that you and he bounce off each other quite often.
Yeah, we have our little group of what's like the Yautja group. So it's like a predator and alien kind of group.
I think I was in that group, but it kept pinging all the time, and I was like, man, I can't deal with this.
Yeah, because you got added, and then you dropped out.
Stop interrupting my day. It just was like ping, ping, ping. I was like, oh, just go away.
Because I'm also a different time period. I think it was like time zone. I think it was like the other night I was in bed and my phone just started going nuts, buzzing. And I was like, oh.
All right.
I'm not going to start getting carried away into the chat. It's like I'm just going to leave it, try and go to sleep.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're back into 2020 now. Let me know when you see something with your phone. I guess. But, man, I don't want a Guyver figure so bad.
I've had that for so long.
Don't rub it in. Don't rub it. It hurts. I love your little. This is your little icon, man. I love it.
Yeah, I've been thinking of reshooting that or like changing it up to something new.
Do I need to scroll faster? Am I nowhere near it?
I kind of feel like I'm going to remember it.
I should just go to the bottom, work my way up then.
Yeah, it must be around this area. Yeah, I think it was. I think like I think that alien shot with the blue and the red was still on my phone. I think that one was camera because I reshot it when I got my camera. I think the upside down alien was my phone.
Yeah, now that I look at it, yeah, I think you can kind of tell because the phone doesn't necessarily have the ability to work with the I don't know how to explain it. It's you get like this weird compression going on with your phone when you look at your shots, and it's got like this kind of graininess to it that you can't do anything about. It's just the way it compresses the photograph. That looks like a little Photoshop facehugger there.
I don't think it is. I think it's. Oh no, do you know what it is? It's because I use sticky tack because that actually shot that shot upside down. So the alien was in the bottom and the facehugger was on top. So I think I actually used like sticky tack to stick the facehugger to the roof bit. So I think it was just me taking out that sticky tack.
What's up, Nomad Figures? How you doing, man?
Hey, man.
Fancy seeing you here. Yeah. All right, so this is one of your phone ones. Let's go to one other one that we're sure is a phone one. How about that?
I think from that Jason shot, I think everything before that was phone.
All right. Well, let's go to this Guyver. I like the Guyver. Let's look at the Guyver. All right. So yeah, with the phone, the one thing you can't. I'm wrong. I haven't played with a phone for actual photography for too much, but from what I understand, in my dealings with it, you can't really play with the depth of field too much with a phone. You kind of get what it gives you, right?
I was using Pro mode in my phone, so it still was giving me like aperture, like all my settings and everything from there. So I was like, I don't think my first couple of shots I did, but so even when I was using my phone, I was still trying to, because I was even doing, I think if you go back maybe a picture or two, there was a shots where I was kind of playing with water, and I'd set like a high shutter, like that alien one. Like it wasn't very good. This was obviously just when I first started, but that was me kind of trying to do like a high shutter on my phone with like a backlight.
Okay. That's kind of weird. It's like you spit water at it like from the front.
Right? I think I was going from the side because I think almost that line kind of going in is kind of where the main spray was coming from. This was like 2 years ago. So
it's awesome though. It's awesome to go back and see like the early stuff because you go back in mine, it's like just a whole bunch of vape and like no real light on anything. Although I was real proud of it at the time.
All my first shots were just I didn't even have lights. I was using like bedroom lamps, vape.
Yeah, look at that. This is just a beautifully done shot for a phone. So you guys with phones just wondering what to do, man, you can pull stuff off. You just got to play with your phone more so than I did because I don't even know how to get to this Pro mode. This is an iPhone, right?
Yeah, I think that was a Samsung,
Oh, that
an
could be
old
why.
Samsung at that point.
Real nice stuff here. But again, another big problem with 1/6 scale is I can't find cool props like this to work in my scale. Just
That's quarter scale.
that's the core. What are you using for that backdrop?
It's a thing you'd put up in your garage, and the texture. So when you put it up in your garage, and it's got little rivets like this, so you could like hang little boxes on them with all your nails and things.
Oh,
And I just have that as a big backdrop. I was extremely
awesome.
happy with that picture when I did that. I was like, oh.
And you're using that for the floor now? No,
Yeah,
that looks
exactly. Yeah.
okay. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I think I had two ones. I had one that was quite rusty, and then one that was quite shiny. So sometimes I'd like the floor and the backdrop.
And this is the NECA Ed 209, right?
Yeah.
Very nice, very nice. There's you playing with water again.
Yeah, like I said, I used to try it a lot, and then I just got fed up with it.
Well, this is where I've done some waterworks, and it doesn't really work for me. I can't get it. This is a beautiful shot though for your phone. Look at that. See what you guys can accomplish with just your phone if you just take the time to play with it. I mean,
Like I said, that was about my third or fourth picture. I didn't even have lights then. I kind of had gels that I'd used for my figure displays, and I was just using like a bedroom lamp and kind of, it was one of the ones that was tube like that. So I was kind of aiming it at one side, kind of where I wanted to go, and holding a gel over it, and kind of trying to put my phone on a timer and trying to hold two bed lamps kind of where I wanted them. How times have changed.
That sounds like a lot of what I've had to go through there with the. Now, this is your first post on Instagram right here.
Yeah, I did have like two shelf pictures before that. But I think I took them archived them ages ago.
Is that a Replicate? Is that a Replicate arcade unit?
Yeah, I got that from. It was like a little miniature one that somebody made for me on Facebook that I originally thought would look cool on my Gremlins shelf. Okay. And I just, when I saw toy photography, I'm like, oh, I want to try that. And I think it was like pretty much my laptop with like there's a bit of wood on the keyboard of my laptop so the turtles can stand on it so you don't see the keys. Okay. A little tea light kind of thing under the arcade machine to give the light, and then it's just orange lamp pointing at it with the laptop background.
Let's see. Cigars and Bacon's asking a question here. Let's see. In your guys' opinion, what would be the best setup for a beginner? The iPhone would be the camera, but what other equipment is good to start with for your photo? Lights. Pure lights. It can be whatever lights, but you need to be able to move them around and, hopefully control the different colors that you can do. So lights with gels.
I think film that you could even just, obviously, if you were kind of wanting to play with more outdoors, then you can almost even get away without lights. Maybe just some like reflecting boards. I use like tin foil, just white, like packing polystyrene. But then if it was kind of shooting indoors, something to light your photos. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, something to light your photos, and it doesn't need to be the mad expensive. Like people are like, oh, I've got this big setup and that cost me X amount. The first lights I got, the newer ones, were about £30, and they've lasted me like 2 years. I've kind of added extra little lights, but I don't think I've spent anything more than £30 on a light.
Yeah, unlike me here, who spent way too much money on lights. I've actually kind of put on the back burner. I've started going back to the newers because they push out a lot more brightness.
Yeah. I quite like the other one, and I forget the name of it now. It's Olzani or something. I can't remember what they're called. They're really good.
Let's see. Penny says, I need a spot to take pictures too. So much of my space is taken up by other stuff that there's no option for a studio or apartment life. Yeah, if you're resigning to shoot indoors, it's hard to make space. But depending on the scale, I think Penny's with me. He's probably doing 1/6 scale. Space is hard to come by. I had to, for my 1/6 scale stuff, I don't use the whole table for the shoot, but I have two 6 foot long tables I got from IKEA. They're 2 feet wide, and I got them back to back, so it's 4 foot by 6 foot. just so I have room to be able to put dioramas up there, because I'm kind of trying to make my own stuff sometimes. And not everybody can do that, but there are people that shoot with like just on their computer table, even with 1/6 scale. Like look at Trooper Nerd, if you can. He's in the UK as well. Trooper Nerd does everything in his kitchen on his kitchen counter, and he'll shoot in 1/6 scale all the time. And he does a lot of more headshot type stuff, but there are some really good shots he does that aren't just headshots either. So
yeah, I've seen that. I'm kind of lucky enough to have a garage, so I actually shoot on top of a chest freezer in my garage, and often I'll set up and the wife will come through saying, I need into the freezer for dinner. I'm like, oh, and I've got to take everything down. I'm like, well, that's the end of the shoot for tonight. But no, I've seen people that kind of, the living room coffee table, or the dining room kitchen table, or even I've seen people with their behind the scenes stuff setting up on the floor. It just sometimes, I suppose, if you're really limited for space, just kind of means you have to be maybe sometimes a little bit more clever with your photos. Obviously, the deeper of a counter you've got, the kind of more you can play with your focus and your aperture and kind of give more depth. But then there's ways of kind of creating the depth without having so much depth.
Mm-hmm. It's all about manipulation of your environment, really. Because for the longest time,
scale a figure in the background gives the illusion of depth.
Yeah, you can get you can do like a hot toy and then put just not too far behind it. You just use a really wide aperture, and you can put like a G.I. Joe size figure, like 6 inches behind it, and it'll look like he's in the same shot, the same scale. Just he's kind of bokeh out a bit, so you don't see the detail of that type of figure, and he looks like he's in scale with the figure in the front. So you can do stuff like that, definitely. Problem with it for me, for my aliens that I want to do, is I kind of want my aliens to be closer, more impending kind of doom thing, and not like there's an alien back there. So yeah,
you just like 3D print a bunch of alien heads, and then go over them with like nail polish to give them that shine, and then have your kind of 2 alien heads at the front, and then just have the top of the domes poking over the top.
Well, I did a shot not too long ago. When I say that, it's probably been about a year now. But let's see. It seems like not that long ago, because I went through this thing where I just wasn't shooting every day anymore, because I have to. At the time I had to share the room with my wife. It was her sewing room, and so I would shoot in there during the week, but I'd have to break it down every weekend. And some weeks just I was less apt to wanting to break it down or do anything with it.
Yeah.
But this one here, I did with all one alien.
Yeah, and just stitched it together.
And just kind of masked them in the background. The problem is, though, just trying to take that shot. I mean, I of course had to shoot it several times with the aliens all around. I even had some aliens trying to put them more in the front of the shot or whatever, and it didn't quite work out. But I wanted them to fade out into the black and just show the domes, basically. I just wanted that part of them showing. So that's kind of why this shot does work a bit. But
yeah. So I'm just reading the comments. Cigars and Bacon. Yes, it was the Spider Gremlin's legs.
Oh, for this? Hell yeah, dude. I have the Spider Gremlin too. I never use it. I gotta remove this guy here.
I know, but that alien shot that's came out great. Like that works really well.
So this is a McFarlane Geralt?
Yeah.
Okay. Some great stuff, man. I love this stuff. And there's you're getting better at the eyes there. I see the white in the middle.
Yeah, I think it was like a few shots before that one. Where I can start kind of playing with it.
This is why I wanted you to send me the pictures. I can do stuff like this.
Yeah. You don't know, zooming in all the imperfections. And go, they won't notice that on Instagram.
Look at these. You did that to the eyes too. That's pretty awesome. Now, see, I haven't been able to get a good glint on my metal stuff like this. This actually works out really well here. I haven't been able to. Now, did you use the in Photoshop effect for this glare, or did you just?
No, I just went and Google and just downloaded a picture of like a glint with a black background, and pretty much I use that exact same effect on every shot that has like a shine on armor or something.
And I've been rubbish at doing this kind of glare too.
Yeah, that was just again
here,
the same effect that I would use for a lens flare, but like all the actual light and everything in that shot, everything was done in camera, pretty much apart from that overhead light. I can't remember how I did it. I think I used the screen background, like a laptop in the background to get like the background.
Okay. What's up, Six Scale Mafia? How you doing? There's your Boba Fett with the Sarlacc pit. Now we all know he didn't go out that way though. He climbed out.
Yeah, that was way before. I think that was when I first got that figure. And I think that's my only like shot that I've done to make it look like daytime. And I made those tentacles out of milliput, and I let them set, and only one of them actually set properly. The rest of them were just wobbly. So I set that up, and I did this whole shot in like about 5 minutes, because when I set up all the tentacles, they all just started giving it this and going down and sagging away. So I had to kind of perk them back up, quickly take 2 shots, and then it all started falling and breaking.
I have that problem with
6 shots, and I had to hope I got it.
I bet. So this is something else I've been having trouble with. You have a nice motion blur here. I've had a hard time getting that to look right. You know, I've been able to basically duplicate the figure and do put layer one on top of the other and do a motion blur and then kind of mask where I want it to show up and stuff at. The problem is I can't quite get the right blur so that it's still in focus and yet, looking like it's got motion. I haven't been able to find that sweet spot, and it's just kind of irritating me. But you got it pretty good here.
I still don't know if I nail it. I kind of do it, and I'm like, yeah, that kind of looks enough. And then usually once I post it, people are like, yeah, that motion blur looks great. And I've done ones where I'm like, I don't think it does. But yeah, I just very, very crudely, with one of my select tools, just big circle, select around the hand, copy it, paste it, motion blur it in whichever direction I want it to go, and then go in with the eraser and just tidy up, because obviously I wouldn't want the blur going maybe all the way up to here.
Yeah.
So I just with the eraser bring it into where I want the kind of what I just think looks nice to my eye.
Right.
Because I was trying to go for that whole
motion blur there.
He was attacking, but then he was shooting and he was catching the blade. I shot this one a lot of times over a lot of different time periods because I wanted to try and show like an in heat battle, but they're quite even matched. So something like he's doing this attack, but then he's already got a counter for this. Well, he's already countering that blade, and it was definitely the best one I got from all the attempts I made.
You nailed it here. I love it. And so, but the key is you're using motion blur. I haven't had a lot of luck with that either because I tend to taper it too much or whatever. I'll have to play around with it more. It hasn't been too big of an issue because I'm just like, whatever. It's not working for me. I'll move on. I haven't put enough thought into it. But you're nailing it. I like it. Man, look at the fact you get all these dioramas to play with at your scale. I love it.
It's most of the stuff there. Like if you look at the behind the scenes of that one, they're just there's not really a diorama there. It's just I didn't send you the behind the scenes of that one. Well, if you want to jump on Instagram, that was last week, so it'll just be at the top. But there's not really a diorama. It's a diorama. Sorry. It's mostly just styrofoam, like not even your proper foam or nothing you'd make dials out of, just styrofoam that the missus wrapped up in paper mache and then painted it. So there's no base. I had a little explosion, but it's just like 3-4 pillars, like the same ones I used for that Mandalorian shot, and then 3 other rocks that we just kind of did with styrofoam, and then just a very, very rough gray. And that's it. So it's not, I would even call that a diorama, just a couple of big stones. But then because you use the smoke, that kind of fills in the gaps, and you kind of look at where you want the kind of pieces are to create the texture in the smoke is what I try and do. I do sometimes try and create a full diorama, but it doesn't always work.
And then you get those boards in the front that are kind of creating that V. Is that more for light bouncing? I take it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's 2 light bounces.
So I've got one with like tin foil on it, which I don't use. That sometimes actually just a scrunched up kind of bit of tin foil works better. And then just the whiteboard.
I gotta get me some more of those gels that come with those newers because I've cut most of mine up to fit in my Loom Cube panel minis.
Yeah.
I need to buy some more of their gels, man. This was the one I saw last week. I liked a lot too.
I hate this one.
What do you hate about it? Let's go over it.
I spent so much time reshooting it. I spent so much time staring at my computer, and I wasn't happy with it. I had like 3-4 versions, and I just wasn't happy with it. But it's part of like an engineer story that I'm working on, so I couldn't just walk away from it, and I just posted it to move on in my life. I think it's done well and stuff, and but like I don't know if it's because you overlook at your own work too much, and then you kind of you start picking it apart, and then there's little things that niggle you, so you go back to like the camera roll to see if there's a better version you like, and then I kind of went back and reshot it, and I think I was just sick of looking at it by the time I came. Well, actually, I think I should have posted about 3 days earlier, but I just kept messing with it, and reshooting it and things.
Well, I like
I think this was one of the first
we're
ones.
We're our own worst critics, so
Yeah.
Just, I like it. Ooh, man, that looks huge. Is that a NECA?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all NECAs.
Why does it look so huge? What did you do?
Well, I've got him sitting on top of a grate with a light underneath it.
That's right.
I think the first shot I didn't have the underlight, and it was just there's something missing. I was like, oh, maybe an underlight's what's missing.
Oh. That's good stuff.
That's like the other versions of the shot.
Well, 603's got a question here. What options are there for creating motion blur? Practically, with static things, it's really hard to work out because you have to be, if you want to do it with any, like if you're doing it in camera, you have to be precise in your movements. You have to have it like on some kind of roller or something that's going to move in that straight, whatever kind of direction you intend it to go, because anything out of that is going to get picked up by the camera and it's going to create a weird blur, depending again on your shutter speed though. I know I tried to do something like that with my my 112 Dark Knight figure by Mezco. He's got that grappling hook, and I wanted to make it look like he was twirling it, right? So, I had it just sitting in his hand, and I would pluck the hook so it would start spinning, and of course try to get the shot in there, and that thing would go all over the place, and just it just wouldn't work. Finally, I just settled on it. It made it look more like it was rocking back and forth than anything else. But those are the breaks. So I would recommend, unless you've got a real bunch of patience and you can shoot those higher shutter speeds to get the proper motion blur, because you're going to move faster and your camera is probably going to be able to do it the way you want it. So you're going to have a probably probably shooting around 125 shutter, which means you're going to need a lot of light. And I would recommend just doing it in Photoshop. And what David was saying, it's probably your best blurs and motion blur. And 6 Scale Mafia, he says he uses field blur.
I have actually been kind of planning a shot in my head, and it was kind of going to be a predator, say, dropping from a tree onto someone. And my idea was to have my jungle backdrop picture. And I was kind of just thinking about it one day. I was like, wonder if I set a long shutter and I kind of just pull the poster up at an angle. Will that give the blur of, so the character will be stationary, but the background will have that motion blur. And I've not tried it yet, but that's something I've kind of had in my head. And then I kind of thought at the same time, I could maybe have a leaf in front or something with a bit of a movement. So have these two elements in the foreground and background, and try and at the same time move them in the same direction. But I've not tried it, but that could be something that might work. But it depends on the shot, really. If it's just a one-hand motion, then kind of, Photoshop, I reckon, is going to be your way. Or that kind of patience of kind of just throwing one element in.
David's IG handle is Collectors.Orbit, by the way, on Instagram. His information should be linked in the description below. If it's not, I'm going to kick myself and be mad. But I brought this one up because this was an in-camera shot of motion blur here.
Yeah.
With this debris. But the problem is the debris is still kind of hard to see. I mean, I probably should have even shot it a little faster, because if you look at this, is kind of almost blurred right out. I mean, this is all in camera, but I'm shooting at I think there's actually 2 shots I did here and stacked them because one shot, of course, I'm hand throwing this stuff. You can't control it too well. The bricks kind of go down, so all this one's going down are from one shot, and all the ones that are going up are from a different shot. And
Yeah,
of course,
so you've had one like kind of thrown that way, and then one thrown.
Yeah, so I think one shot though was actually shot at a faster shutter speed than the other. I think the one going up were shot at 250, which is where this has saved my shutter speed at. In Lightroom, it's saying it's 250, but I think the ones going down are 125, which is why they're even more blurry. But it kind of works because they're coming towards the camera, and that's going to cause a depth of field blur on top of the motion blur. And since we got the motion blur, it works. It's just you have to look at it and go, what is that? So,
I think that's great.
Thank you, 6Scale. IG information for Collectors.Orbit is in my information down below. And there, look, he saved this. That was nice. Look at that.
Yeah.
I post stuff like that on my feed, and people like ignore it. That's why I just do a story now. I try to post anything pretending YouTube, and people are like, bah.
Yeah.
I see people like followers leave, like literally they'll leave my account.
Yeah, like I even like obviously kind of once tonight's probably done, I'll probably leave something in my highlights, but I'll probably like remove that picture from my, because I always do try and look at my wall of pictures and kind of, I don't want, I've got a turtle there and a turtle there. I don't want to do another turtle. Kind of like, I want to shoot Predator. Damn, I already had a Predator shot, was my last picture. Damn it. I kind of need to put something in between that and a Predator shot. Or even sometimes I'll look at my page and go, I don't want to do another shot that's colored blue just for the overall look of the page kind of thing. I don't know if that matters. But I don't know. It's just my OCD eye that's like, I need a bit of green in this tiles.
I feel you, but I don't go quite that far with that, with the colors versus,
I don't really. Sometimes I'll kind of look going, I should have gone for a different color. But I definitely try and mix up my characters so I'm not doing, like an alien shot or a predator and a predator. Like I try and have a different character at least every shot.
But IG is really funny, man. If I post a predator, 200 likes easy. I post anything else like Spider-Gwen, nobody likes it. I think all my followers started up following me because of Predator, and they don't know what to do with me when I post something else.
I really like shooting Star Wars, but I don't think my Star Wars stuff doesn't do well. Like it does okay. Like a couple, maybe like 500 or 600 or something. But then I posted one of the Predator shots I posted. It was like almost 4,500. I was like that was a first for me kind of thing. And I was like, how the hell did this happen? And kind of aliens and predators can always seem to be my heavy hitters, but it's weird. You can even do say a Star Wars and Alien mix up, and it still doesn't do well. But then you'll do the next Star Wars Alien one, and it does do well. And I just take the pictures that I want to take. Like I try not to focus on how many likes it is, because then you end up just, you get disheartened especially when there's a shot that you think's great and then it doesn't do well. But then a lot of times it's not because of that. It's maybe the algorithm or the time of day you posted.
Yeah, I'm still trying
any advice for people that are feeling disheartened by either the attention their page is getting? Like it's not because like some of the best photos I've seen are people that have pages that are under like 1,000 followers. There are a couple of hundred followers, and they've got some of the best pictures I've seen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like this one. This is one of my favorite pictures, but it's actually grown a lot more recently, which is weird. It didn't shoot up like the day of, which is how most of my stuff works.
Mm-hmm.
But it's it's up to 400 now. But it's just so odd. I mean, look at that Spider-Gwen. This was not one of my best shots, but well, still, I think it reminded me a lot of the show. So
I used to think of the Flash.
Well, when she's, if you've seen the movie, that's like the scene where she's running and she's like, let's do this one last time, and she's running along the top there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's just so weird. Like this one, I think this should have gotten way better. I don't know. I think it nails everything. It's clear. It looks to me cinematic. I could be wrong, but I just don't understand the algorithm and the way it treats people.
Yeah. Yeah, like the only thing I would like that I would thingy for that is just kind of more of a texture in the background.
Mhm.
Would it kind of be the only thing? Like even just like so, I mean, like this Boba Fett shot, you've got that kind of little clouds in the background, and it
That's
just
all
breaks.
Photoshop. But yeah.
Yeah, and it just breaks up enough though to not be one tone blue or one tone white. But then
Yeah,
that's just something my eye goes to.
I had to do that because see his rocket launcher in the back here?
Yeah.
He was on a white background, and I just kind of changed the temperature of it. And what happened is this looked like a shadow, like it was casting a shadow on the back wall. And I was like, well, I gotta do something.
Yeah, as it looked like the wall was right behind him.
Yeah. Well, no, the wall was actually kind of far away, but this is the
Yeah.
same thing. I also imposed the sky here.
I really like that shot. It's really, like, that just looks like it's straight out of like a screenshot from something.
Other than the fact that he's too thin, I agree with you. But yeah, I really like this one, and you warned me. You're like, it's kind of dark.
It wasn't like I warned you about that because I think you showed me the image. You went, I just took this. That's all shot on camera. I was like, that looks great. I love that. And then you were like, here's the edit version, and then I was like, oh, like I thought the first one you showed me was the edit one.
Yeah, let me find the actual other shots here. When did I shoot that? I guess it's around here, maybe.
It was about like what 4 days ago, maybe you sent me that.
Yeah, but the thing is, my camera has been weird on its time here. I had to change the time on it. It was like in 2017 for whatever reasons, so the dates are weird. So everything's not quite where it should be. This is annoying. Now I can't find it at all. What are you doing to me? Photoshop or Lightroom?
If you weren't live, you'd find it like that.
I know, right? It'd be right there, but I'm trying to find. It should be this one. It should be tied to. There it is.
There you go.
Jesus. So I'll go back in here and develop it. So that's the raw shot.
Yeah, but it was the one you had stuff in the background. Was the one that I liked.
Yeah, I didn't set it up until later. So let me get over to where. Is that my actual shot? No, that might be. There's my actual shot that I posted. So I think this is the one I sent you, and it had just
it was much light. It was much lighter.
It was much lighter, so it might be one of the other starred ones here. Nope. Something more like that.
Yeah, it was like that.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. There's a starred one. So that's the one I sent you.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that one.
But see, I felt that at the time, and I still do when I look at it, that the background is so dark. There's just so much light on them that doesn't look like it should be there.
Yeah, well, yeah, because then your kind of brain goes, well, where is this light coming from?
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's where I would kind of start. If I'll do that sometimes. I'm like, oh, I like that, like this, but where's that light coming from? But then that's where I start running with the idea. I was like, well, okay, so it's not behind Boba Fett because there's blue, so it's really kind of coming. I was like, what if it's from the Predator ship? And it's like, the ship's pulled up. And then that's when I go, I'm going to put smoke coming in that way. It's still the Predator's coming down the ramp, and then there's smoke coming out. And that's where I'll just end up totally spinballing with an idea, purely just because I had these two characters, and I went, I like orange. Damn, I wasn't planning orange. How can I make it work? And then I go completely off.
And this is exactly it. This is exactly what you need to think about when you take these shots. You guys want to know how we come up with these shots, and it all stems from trial and error, and then us trying to put together the shots. Like the viewer is not going to know all of this that he just went over. The viewer is going to be like, that looks cool, and maybe put their own story together. But we have to have a story that makes sense. Like for me, this shot didn't make sense. That light didn't work. So I moved on.
That's the thing, because you had the story in your head. Well, and then that's what I mean. It's like everybody will see that shot different, because then I could look going, okay, well, where's that light coming from? That's maybe the Predator ship. Whereas someone else could go, oh, no, that's, the Slave One hovering above them, ready to shoot the Predator or something. Everybody would see that different.
Well, the thing is what actually happened to me is I took that shot, right, and I sent it to you, and I was like, look what I just did, right? And then I turned off the front light. And I was like, wait a minute.
And that's where you went off with.
I was like, wait a minute. I mean, this is way too dark, obviously, but
yeah. But it got the ball rolling.
You know, wait a minute. Let's start playing with the different light angles here to get some different lights. Just try to get something that makes sense. And you know what sold me though? Now that one was okay, but what finally sold me though was when I got that glint in his eye here.
Oh
just that glare, and look how well that mask I thought was lit up. Just the details that are just popping on that mask, and I was like, this is perfect. The only problem that I had with this shot was, at least on this screen anyway, you can't really see his hand on his gun too well. It's a little too dark.
A little bit like his hands on his hips.
Yeah, but he's actually ready to draw. He's ready to draw. But yeah, that's kind of how I fell into the shot. I love the shot still, but I think when you look at the feed, like especially when somebody like likes or comments on it, and I see the little Instagram image of it, and I'm like, that's just a dark blob. What picture are they commenting on? You click on it, you go, oh, that one. So those are the breaks, I guess. But this one didn't do well, and that's the Photoshop light effect there. But yeah, that pose was a pain in the ass. Let me just tell you, that pose drove me nuts trying to get that stormtrooper to stand.
I know, Joe. It's Sean at Visual Approach, man. I don't know how he when he sets up those big like bar style fight scenes and stuff. And it's like, for the amount I know, when I'm setting things up that keep falling over, I don't know how he manages the patience to do it all, or what his technique to keep it all up is.
Hold on, I got a bot here. We'll see, man. That's his name, by the way. I'm just saying what's up because he popped in here. Apparently, you can't stay long, but there you have that. Let's see if we missed any questions here. Ben, my buddy Ben, he's over in the UK. I think he's in Wales, he said. He's got Gwen, the Hot Toys Gwen, showing up Friday. That's awesome. That Gwen figure is phenomenal, dude. I know you don't do Hot Toys, but she's awesome.
I have had my eye on a few Hot Toys. I've not pulled the trigger on anything, but there's a few that I was like, oh, do you know what? I think I need a couple Hot Toys. And I think the ones I've been looking at, I don't know if I'd even shoot them, but I was looking at that Batman, Nightmare Batman and Black Suit Superman 2-pack.
Okay.
I was looking at that, and I was even thinking maybe one of the because they keep coming out with more Mandos. Yeah, I don't know. I probably will get a Hot Toy one day, but I've never pulled the trigger on it.
You can't stop, man. Then you have to go
I hate pre-ordering things like a year before they come out, because when I order something, I'm like, oh, I can't wait for that to come like in 3 days' time. I'm so excited for 3 days. Let alone, cool, I've pre-ordered that. It's going to be like, I pre-ordered the Mezco 3-pack of Zack Snyder's Justice League figures. So the Flash, the Batman, and I remember when I ordered that, and I can't even remember when it is coming out now. I'm just forgotten now.
But I'm gonna set you off right here. This is what we're gonna do, man. This is the Hot Toys Boba Fett, and of course it's focused on me. He's actually got the wrong gun. He's borrowing another guy's gun here. But I mean, just the detail on these, man.
I do like the size. Like, I have got a couple of the Necker quarter scales. I've got 2 Predators. I've got the 4 Turtles. And then things like my Queen, like the Queen Alien. It's like, that's a nice big figure as well. I do have a half Predator bust.
You all right?
I do like statues as well. I did collect statues for a while, and I kind of sold off a lot of toys, and I was like, I'm going to move more into statues. And then that's when I started taking photos for Instagram, and I was like, oh my god, I need more toys to take photos of. And I'm really sad that I sold lots of toys, especially now when I'm like, man, I wish I still had those Gears of War figures or that such and such monster. It's like, oh, that would have been great for this shot. I don't have them.
Cigars and bacon. He's one of my Saturday co-hosts, and he likes to start some trouble. Look at him. He's like, Mom,
I did hear Moz say that. I'm pretty sure he said that.
Yeah. Which one did he say I was going to give you? Let's see. Oh, it doesn't say which one. That's good. Whew. He's like, well, let me choose one back there, shall we?
The one with the wobbly legs.
Yeah, you want the Ed 209? Is that it?
I know I've got the NECA one.
No, I love my Hot Toys. I tried the NECA ones. And the problem is they just always fall over. Like they have the most horrible ankles, particularly the Predators. My Pennywise got the same problem.
See, mine's have all been really good, but then, like the Alpha Predator, everybody's like, "Oh man, this is the best figure," and I hate that figure purely because my one is the legs are like. As soon as I got it, I was like, the legs were so weak. It was like the ankles actually, and it wouldn't stand. It wouldn't do nothing. But as soon as I got like I had to get a proper stand for him, and he's fine. But no, all the rest of my Predators and stuff, yeah, everything's like for NECA, yeah, everything pretty much. I've never really had much problems. You know, the people that kind of moan like they come out of the box broken and stuff. I've not really had much problems with NECA.
Speaking of coming out of the box, here's another one of those shots that I love, man. And you made this cape, right?
No, that was off AliExpress.
What? It's off of AliExpress? Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I thought you said to me you had made it, but still awesome.
I did originally make a Spawn cape, a fabric one, and then somebody shared something in like a local Facebook group kind of saying that they'd got it and this is what it looked like, and I'm just kind of just instantly jumped on that.
Well, these are some awesome photos. I pinged Harry, aka Cinematoygrapher. He said he was going to come in today, and I don't know where he went. I wanted to get him on here so you guys can have like a little, a little bit of overlap and get to know each other a little bit. I don't know if you talked to him too much.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever spoke to him actually.
Well, let me acquaint you with some of his stuff if you don't mind.
I definitely follow him.
Oh, okay. So you stuff then. All right. Yeah, he's over in the west coast of the U.S., so he's probably eating or something. But he did say he was going to pop in because I know you got to take off in like another 10 minutes or so. It's late for you over there.
Yeah, what's that? Back at 12, working early and all day tomorrow. So
I need to get into that gym habit, man. I was like, I need to go to a gym.
But yeah, because I've been sitting speaking away. This is usually just when I'll be like staring at the TV, because I've been speaking away to someone. I'll be all like hyper, and I'll lie in bed awake for ages.
I think when I get out of here, I'm going to watch Gilded Age, or The Gilded Age is on HBO right now. It's like done by the same people that did Downton Abbey.
Okay.
First episode came out this week.
Oh.
My wife got me into Downton Abbey. What's up, Doc Smithel? How you doing? So, your typical light setup.
Hi, Scott. Sorry, my friend just messaged me saying he was watching me. Damn. Hi, Scott.
So when you typically set up, how many lights do you start with when you set up?
Usually 2.
You set up and start with 2, and that's usually like a backlight and some kind of front light to start your angle, right?
I usually almost start with the 2 sides, and then I kind of start going from there. Like I always like kind of the sides, but then behind the character a little bit to get that kind of rim light.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of start going from there, and then start building up kind of what I want. Sometimes I'll have a really, really low, like a front light. If I just kind of want to get bring out the character a little bit more, which I'm trying to lighten up my shots at the moment, but still keeping the mood. Or I'll use the whiteboards in front. So I'll have the 2 lights kind of pointing from behind the character, getting those side lights, and then the whiteboards reflecting a bit of that back to kind of show off the lights of the character without overexposing them.
Oh, okay.
And then just start building up kind of what I see. Like that one's probably only, I think that one was like maybe 2 lights, and then I had a little, like one of those little lights you'd stick to the bottom of something and you just push them to switch them on and off. I had one of them and I was just kind of shining that one into the helmet.
On the turtle one, or are you talking about
sorry, and that one, yeah. So maybe it's just one at the right, one at the left, and then just kind of trying to simulate the. I was pointing at the screen there, so you can see me. So you can to simulate the light from the torch shining into the egg, and also trying to get into the helmet enough just to kind of pick up a little bit of the details. Because I was very aware that was the Dallas figure, it wasn't Kane. So I was like, can't show his face too much.
No, it's a good use of light there, man. Where was the turtle one here? Let's see. There we go. Let's see. Well, we got 2 turtle ones. Which one we want to talk about? I like this raft.
Well, the punching what the other one I just did the other day.
This one here?
That one's a fun trick actually with the neon light, because I was wanting a bit of neon lights and stuff in the city, and I just kind of had the thought, and I just kind of googled and looked up a neon light and a sign with my phone, and just pretty much held it in the background of the photo, pretty much where it is there, and shot the photo. And
oh, that's your phone back
yeah,
there?
that's just my phone with a neon light on it.
Oh, that's awesome. That is a great use. I would have not known that, man. Well, maybe if I watched it behind.
I think I did show it on like the behind the scenes one. So I zoomed out the camera to show me holding my phone, but the actual behind the scenes video, obviously I had to use my phone to record it, so it's not on there. But I did zoom out and take a shot again to show that pretty much I'm in there holding it. And it's just kind of because I had that slow shutter on, I kind of just held it for a little bit and then took my hand away, and I seemed to get the lights, but not my hand or the phone. Like, so it worked out perfectly.
Yeah,
I'll definitely use it again.
So the thing with the slow shutter is, you can paint with light, but if you do it right, you can do stuff like that and kind of just take yourself out of the shot and get what you want in there. It's almost like a natural masking.
Yeah.
And then of course we got this one here, and your light here, I can see that the one light on the left is that using like the rounded top, because I see it's hitting the wall a little bit too.
I don't think it is really hitting the wall. I think I just put in a little bit of vape from that side. So it's kind of just like a little purpley mist coming in. I think it was one of my little kind of cube lights, kind of like a Loom cube, but it's like an off-brand one.
Yeah.
It was all just the posing of that picture that I really liked. But I don't even think I used that because I shot 2. I think I shot one of him hip tossing the guy, and then one of him kicking him. And I can't remember who it was. Someone I speak to had done a very similar shot to that, and I was like, oh man, I feel like I'm ripping him off if I post that. So I put that as the second shot.
I've had that problem.
That's always been my favorite of the 2.
I had those problems with the Predatorium, if you remember him. He hasn't done a lot lately, but he and I used to do a lot of Hot Toys Predator. He's kind of doing NECA now, but we would end up using very similar poses. And I'm like, but there's only so many ways you can pose these Hot Toys.
Yeah.
A lot of mobility.
It's like when you do a Michael Myers shot, you can't really do him like kind of spinning and kind of doing stuff, because it's really just a stiff, static pose most of the time. So the shot kind of generally looks a bit boring. I really love that. That's one of my favorite Queen pictures. That and
you got Scott printing you eggs, man. I need to hook up for 1/6 scale eggs, Scott. But I'm in the U.S. That could really be a problem. Yeah, I need 1/6 scale eggs, because I try to use. In fact, I'm going to go back to me now. I'm sorry, but I try to use on this shot here. I wanted to shoot an egg, but all I got is a NECA egg, so they're 1/12 or so, and it's too low. It should be coming up. The top of the egg should have been right around where his thigh is here on 1/6.
Could you have not like tried obviously raising it up on something and then bringing it right into the camera, or would that have blurred it too much?
Well, the problem is not the height isn't the only problem with it, though. The other problem is that the circumference, the inner, the where they come out, is too thin. It's not wide enough. The diameter is not wide enough. So without me having to like take a solo shot of the egg, I thought about it in my head before I got to this point. Without me having to take a solo shot of the egg and hope that I could match the lighting and the fog on it, so that I can blend it back into the picture, I would have to take a solo shot and then enlarge it. There was no way at this angle, because I wanted that kind of from the bottom looking up kind of angle.
Yeah.
There was no way from this angle that I could shoot it and use forced perspective. Really.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have worked, because like one thing is like the tail wouldn't have been in the egg. It would have been behind the egg.
Yeah.
So, I would have run into the same problem. I'm going to be trying to use the masking tool and bring that tail back to the front, and the shadows are going to be weird. And I know it's going to look weird. So I
understand it's that thing that you can see all the time.
Yeah. And, the viewer might not see it, but I'm going to see it. And so I wanted to go back over here real quick. And, I want to look at the raw shots of these real quick. So another thing, this is where normally the ceiling would be, but I used some black matte board and I had it on like a scissor boom, and clamped it, then put it over his head, so I wouldn't be seeing the ceiling. You can see it kind of move its perspectives a couple times here. But when you get down to it, though, on that shot, I did a few different light setups here.
Actually, I like the glow in that one.
Yeah, that one's pretty good too.
That's why I like my mist, because then it just picks up.
Yeah,
Gives that spotlight a glow to the area as well.
I'm trying to find the raw. Yeah, there's the raw of the shot I did use though. Of course, I did very little to it. I pretty much I color corrected this orange just a little bit because it was a bit too. It had too much red to it. I wanted it to be more of an orange.
Yeah.
And there wasn't much I could do to it. And then I just added my logo. That's pretty much all I did to it.
It's good when you get shots like that, though, that you don't have to do nothing out of it. Like, kind of straight out the can, you're like, it's good to go.
Yeah, I was trying to. I don't even think we're seeing the actual raw one. I think there's another one that I have here. How do I tell this thing to give me the other one? It says it's got 2 of 2 here. I don't know. Me and Lightroom are not friends right now. It's being mad at me. But the way I do it is I got this weird process. So I'll do the major editing in Lightroom Classic and then import it over to Lightroom because it's got the social media stuff on it. So instead of popping it out and like getting any more compression on it, that's the way I do it. And then I would send it to my phone that way. But
I just Photoshop all the way. I just used to use even when I did start shooting on my camera. On my camera, I was still sending it over to my phone and using Lightroom on my phone to do my editing and things.
Really, you use the Lightroom on your phone to do it?
Yeah, I just didn't know how to use it. I think and the other half, she was like, "Oh, I've got Lightroom on my Photoshop on my laptop," and I did not know how to use it in the slightest. I was like, "How do I crop?" It's like that symbol there, that crops. I was like, "Okay." And I think now, like I do stuff. Once I used to do stuff, and she was like, "I don't know how you did that."
Now, what file format do you shoot your raw pictures in? Are you shooting in a raw file format, or are you shooting?
Yeah, shooting raw. Yeah.
Okay. So, for those of you who are not familiar, if you're still using your phone and you're looking into a camera later, there's different file formats that you can use, and this is something I actually meant to cover way earlier in the episode. But you have, JPEG, which is what we're all used to seeing on the internet, and you have different types of RAW. And when you're shooting with a real phone or not, with a real camera, you have access to RAW. You want to go with some form of RAW. I actually use Canon's RAW, which is like their own proprietary RAW, but Photoshop, whatever, it can work with it, so that's fine. And it's just a better compression rate than straight up regular RAW. But what the big key though with shooting a RAW is that it includes so much more information than a JPEG does. So that when you take your photo into Photoshop or Lightroom and you want to make adjustments, it's got a whole deeper bit depth than any JPEG you could ever have, because JPEGs are only at max 16-bit for color, and then your RAW is like 256, I think. Don't quote me on the actual numbers. I didn't prepare myself for that part of the test, but so when you're going through and you got a picture that's a little bit too muddy or too not bright enough or too dark, or that's the same thing, or too bright, and you want to play with those exposure settings, and you take it like a JPEG in there and you do that, it's going to blow it out real quick. You're not going to have a lot of bit depth for it to play with. So like you bring the exposure over just like one notch, and then the next thing you know, your photo is like blown way out. You have lost like any contrast. It's just newt. So if you can, you want to shoot in a RAW format. If you don't feel comfortable shooting in just RAW and you have a camera, that you sometimes, you can usually shoot in dual formats. You can shoot in JPEG and RAW, but the JPEG, you're not going to be able to really do a lot with the editing other than cropping and maybe some minimal Photoshop work. But anything that's going to play with the colors or the exposures, you're going to want a RAW file. It's just something I realized that I wanted to go over to some of these people that have not done that. because it is a bit daunting getting into the camera for the first time. As a newer camera user, Dave, do you have any suggestions as far as what might have tripped you up and what might help some future people transitioning from the phone?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was Aperture that got me to start with. Because I think we had conversations, because then I got confused with like the higher the number means the deeper the focus. Whereas I had it in my head that it was the other way around. I was like, why am I not getting any kind of depth or blur to these photos? And I was like, I'm going to turn it up more. And it was like up in the high 30s. And I was like, I can still see everything. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah. So yeah, that's exactly right. So your aperture is, basically how much light your camera is going to let in the phone into the picture. So when you have it way up, that's not more light. That's your further depth of field. You have more of a depth of field. That's what that number is. Your f-stop is how much depth you're going to get out of the shot, is not gauging the light, because obviously the lower your aperture is, the more light it lets in. So I think the lowest the camera typically can go is 1.2, but I don't have a lens that goes that low. I got 1.4.
Mine only goes to about 2.5 is the lowest I can go to, depending on what zoom you've got.
Yeah. So, well, usually with the
I never go that low.
Lenses, you get higher. You can't get as bleh. See, this is where it gets tricky to say. You can't get as open an aperture. It's got to be, usually they start around 3.5 or so for anything that can zoom. Anything that's fixed focused, which means it doesn't zoom, it doesn't have like a zoom focal range, it's just one focal range. Those tend to be the ones that actually give you the better light ranges, like mine. So that's what I tend to buy, is that I'll just switch out lenses. Like what I'm shooting on right now is a 22 millimeter lens. It doesn't do anything else. 22 millimeters. When I go to shoot over there, when I'm doing photography, it's a 32 millimeter lens. That's all it is. The kit lenses that it came with, that are 15 to 45, are in a box. I don't.
Yeah. I just use the one it came with. I think it's 18. I've got it I always post it on every picture I take. I think it's like 18 to 35 is the one that I've got. And that's just what I use all the time. I don't have any other lenses.
No. Well, I mean, you said you're borrowing your mate's camera, so
yeah.
I wouldn't expect you to go buy any lenses right now. Are you planning to buy your own camera, or is this
turn on one day, be like, oh, I need my camera back? At least if I bought lenses, I'm like, right, cool. I definitely need to buy my own camera to make use of these lenses. I might be going back to phone shooting one day.
On Monday, you might go back to phone?
No, one day. If he turns
around, you said Monday. I was like,
all day needs his phone. I'll be at his camera. I'll be back to shooting on my phone.
You maybe want to start shopping.
I know. I probably should, but
you gonna stay with Nikon though? You think if you get a camera, are you?
Yeah. Well, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So I've not had any issues with it, and probably knowing my luck, it'd be that kind of thing. I was like, oh, I'm gonna step up the ladder and get something bigger and better, and then I'd probably somehow be like, why can't I get the shots I want anymore? Or like, why is this not working for me?
See, we already hooked up Kurt there, or not Kurt? That's CT. Sorry, Diablo Fit is Kurt. I remember I'll remember everybody's names eventually. Who's who? But CT, he's using his phone still, but he just set it up to save to RAW as well. What's up, Loco Lu? How you doing, man? Lou's an amateur photographer. You want to talk to him for a minute before you got to go? Bring him in.
Well, yeah.
Because I was gonna get Harry, but I haven't heard from Harry. And Lou, you want to come in? I should probably ask you first. But Lou's, I think, still shooting with his phone, so actually he could probably be of much use here. Let me if I can find the window. I got so many windows right now.
Yeah, because I'm still seeing some absolutely fantastic shots done on phones, and
we can pull up Lou's stuff here in a minute. Let me just find him.
So not Toy Geek 88. Does he not still use his phone? I believe. I think he said he's got a camera, but I think he finds his phone easier to use. Or he did the last time I kind of spoke to him, or one of the times I spoke to him.
Oh, there he is, Loco Lu. So Lou uses his phone, and of course his Instagram's all mixed up with all kinds of stuff. So it's not just.
Yeah, that was great.
This is some cotton swabs he's got there. Now he did mask this character into the scene for whatever reason, or something. He's got you can see the border on the knife, on the weapon there. But some of his better stuff, like this here, this is shot in his phone.
Yeah, that looks like you would never know that was done on a phone.
Yeah. So looks like we'll have Lou here for a few minutes. I think he's got to go work tonight though too, so we won't be on too long. Let me see what else we got here, because he's got all this other stuff. There's your turtles.
Okay.
And he does a lot of these just like at work and stuff too. So he's not even got full control over his lights. It's pretty crazy. He's
yeah.
He's actually doing pretty well. What is this? Oh, that's a movie. No, that's not a movie shot. How many Foot Clan soldiers do you have? Wait, yeah, that's a toy. Oh, this is a NECA promo, isn't it? Lou, put a shirt on.
As I say, I was like, man, that's a lot of food.
So again, yeah, he's shooting on his phone here, and he's actually got a few props that he's been using lately. Where's all your Venom shots and stuff, man? Lou, I know you've got some Venom shots. They're not in here. Lou is bad. He's got the Mezco. He's got a lot of the Mezco stuff too. Just getting out of the fight. Where's Lou? Waiting for him to come on in. Because he'll sit there in that waiting room if I don't pay attention. That way he could talk about his shots. There we go. Here's a good one for his phone.
No, that's cool. I like that.
Is that? I wonder if that's the NECA like sewer scene setup or something. Where do you get that?
I don't know, because it's got good. Like, I've not seen a good sewer one, because obviously I just use like a straight brick wall and kind of say, well, it's a sewer. But yeah, obviously, ideally, you want that kind of curve, which has got.
Although it looks like he's using like some kind of vanilla wafers or something for the stairs. You know, those cookies you buy at the store. You know, it almost looks like that's what the stairs are.
Hey, but sometimes that kind of thing, you're like, oh, what did you use to make that grated step? You're like, it's a biscuit.
Yeah, that's right. You guys call them biscuits. I don't even know what it is. Like cookie, biscuit. I don't know.
Like a cookie's round with like chocolate chip cookie in that, and then anything like else would be a biscuit.
I want to try a Jammy Dodger, but they don't sell those around here, or at least
Jammy Dodger's good. My little one likes a Jammy Dodger. I'm not a big biscuit fan, but no, my little one likes a Jammy Dodger.
Okay, he sent me some photos of his Venom. Cool. Let's get those over there. Oh my god. All right. Oh, come on. I grabbed you. Come on. There we go. There we go. So he sent some photos. There's his Venom. It's got the Hot Toys Venom.
Oh, cool.
He likes to bring his Hot Toys to work with him. It's crazy. I would never do that.
That's what it works as. Where do you work, Hot Toys? Oh.
No, he doesn't work for Hot Toys. But look at this. This Venom is. I got the next one on pre-order. He's got this one here. This is the one they just came out with, but they're gonna have a Venom 2.
I think I was going to Hot Toy. Venom could be a good shout for a potential first Hot Toy purchase.
Oh, his head sculpt is awesome.
I don't think I've seen the new Venom. I've seen the new Carnage one that they've announced, but I don't think I've seen the Venom.
Yeah, well, you can buy him right now on Sideshow. He's available to buy, so you wouldn't have to pre-order him. He would just be there. But he has $400.
Oh.
So this
is why I don't buy a camera, because I'm like, right, I'm going to do that. Oh wait, look at those figures.
Well, given that you don't actually own your camera and that you'll never know when you're going to have to let that one go, you may want to buy the camera first. What's up, Lou?
What's poppin', man? What's poppin'?
David, Lou.
How you doing? What's up, Dave? How you doing? Pleasure.
And about how are you, man?
I'm good, man. About to get ready for work.
What do you work as that you can take your Hot Toys with you?
I'm a security guard, so I work as a doorman sometimes here and there. So if I have a quiet spot doing the night shift, you have lots of quiet time. So it's pretty good to do all that stuff. But I it's not just Hot Toys I take to work. I'll take little pocket toys too, like 3 or 3/4 inch.
If I was sneaking something in, that's what it'd be like. Me little 6-7 inch figures, rocking up with a few Hot Toys and quarter scales.
Oh, it's wrapped up. It's wrapped up. Looks good in my bag and everything like that. You cannot see it, no nothing. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things. Like I take extra care when I pull out, you know, a hot toy, especially, you know, $450 figure.
Yeah.
You know, Venom Pool is another thing. I don't take him out. He's too big.
Yeah. He's a beefy boy as well, is he?
Yeah. So what was you saying, Maz? You was talking smack about me while I was hopping in. What happened?
We were just waiting on you, man. We were talking about the people shooting on iPhones or you know, phones in general, and I was like, well, Lou shoots a lot on the phones, and let's bring him in here because I know David doesn't have much longer. He's got to go to bed here soon, and
okay,
that'll be a nice transition without, you know, me just going, now what do I do?
I hear you. Well, what does you want to know? Like,
well, he's shot on phones, but I thought maybe you could go over some of your experience shooting on phones and what some of the people that are still shooting on phones maybe want to look into.
Well, if you're shooting on your phone, I have mine's set on automatic for focusing, but it only works. It's best on certain zooms. So if you zoom in very, very close, it looks fuzzy. But if you're like ×1 or ×0.5, that's usually like the best quality shots you can get. Also, you know, I have an iPhone 11, so I can get, you know, high definition shots as well. But it's all about lighting. If you don't have the proper lighting and the mood of the lighting is wrong, you can't get certain distances and certain details that you want to get on the object that you're trying to, you know, take a photo of. So lights are key, and usually I don't have that much control of my lights. So what I do is I control where I put the figure so that way I can get the actual setting of the light. So if you can't move one thing, you move another in order to move things around. I learned all this stuff from ACBA, Articulated Comic Book Art. So that's where all the toy junkies, like, I collect, you know, Legos. I collect Marvel Legends mainly, DC Multiverse stuff. Like these are 6-7 inch scale figures, and some people who are into hot toys go over there as well. They enforce tangibility versus Photoshop, because it was solely based on YouTubers doing displays in their cabinets and shelves and telling an entire story, even with cutouts based off of the comic books that we have read. So if you want a Civil War display and kind of have that kind of spread and convey one specific moment in a panel, you can literally recreate that panel, put the cutout in there, and kind of like hide it between another figure or a stand or whatever. And there's shots that you can't avoid without the stand being there. So you'll have an entire display and you'll videotape it versus just taking a picture, which is a lot harder because you have to create the illusion using everything around you. So that means wherever you're shooting at is like a film production. You just got to make sure that everything's in the shot. And if it's not in the shot, you break the illusion. So kind of like what I'm doing here with Venom. Like I make sure that everything's in shot.
All right. Sorry, I just heard from Harry. He's on his way in too. But
cool.
So that's some intense stuff, man. One of the things I learned when I was shooting my phone though is like when it tries to do the bokeh for you, it can go real overboard when you're shooting like a figure, man. It can sit there and go, oh, you want your aperture, and the way it does it like kind of starts erasing things from the picture. Actually, it doesn't like bokeh it. So you got to be careful when you're using your aperture settings on those iPhones with that, because one of the first pictures I took was of my Predator, and he had this whip, and I was like, ooh, that bokeh on the whip looks great. But then you look at it closer and like, where does hand go? Like part of the whip is gone. Mm-hmm. What's going on here? So sorry, Lou, I zoned out because Harry was messaging me.
No, it's all good, brother. But what happens is like I have my settings on auto. Everything's on auto. It's like factory settings. I don't adjust anything. And if I adjust everything, it's after the shot has been taken. You know, like if I feel like it needs to be a little bit more contrast, I'll throw in a dramatic filter. That's a part of the phone. So it takes the light and, it'll desaturate the colors a little bit or saturate the colors depending on how I want the shot. Most of my shots, though, I try to not touch it whatsoever unless it's like I'm adding some cloud effects or smoke or mist or rain or whatever, because I have those features on, but nothing beats the real deal. And I don't know if I still have it nearby.
Where's your
have it
here?
Yeah, like that's an app. That is literally a sticker that I put in the shot. So you can literally stretch out the cloud and shrink it down to get the type of mist that you want. So if you want it like very, very foggy, or if you want it very, very thick, like smoke being blown in your face kind of thick, you can adjust it through the app. Now, for rain, I usually use this pressurized pump that's for water balloons, and I'll have the pressure setting on certain modes, flip it and spray it like in the air, and I'll do some auto shots so that way whatever the rain droplets come in, the little mist, that will create the rain, because that looks better to me than the sticker apps that I've been using for rain shots.
Yeah, I haven't been able to get any rain to work like Photoshop. Otherwise, it just doesn't seem to land right.
Yeah, nothing beats the real rain. Like real water in the shot always works best.
Yeah, and a lot of it actually has something to do with the fact that, like, all right, so yeah, you've gotten this drawn rain on your picture, but then like your figure isn't showing like the rain beating off of them or anything like that. It does just, and then you can try, like, I've seen videos where you use the posterize effect under your filter gallery in Photoshop, and you can posterize to get that kind of wet sheen to the figure. I haven't been able to get that, to be honest with you. Not to the degree that I like. I've tried to use it in the past and just hasn't worked. So.
See, I'll still, if I'm doing like a rain shot and just say I'm like, right, I can't get the rain to work, I'm going to Photoshop it. I'll still spray my figures to make everything wet. And even a lot of figures like aliens and things, I always spray them with water to give that, like the sweat or the slimy look and things. Even like the ground wetting and things, I was a big fan of making my shots wet, even if I'm not doing rain.
Yeah. There's a pro tip. If you have a figure that has no fabrics whatsoever, and it's a solid plastic piece, you can literally use the 303 wipes, wipe down your figure before it dries out, or even if you have fabrics like pleather and stuff like that, wipe your figure real quick. It keeps it shiny, and it does it for a short period of time. I'll say like maybe about an hour or so. But if you really wanted to get that it's been in the rain look and it's not beaded, but it looks wet, you use a wipes on your figure, and it keeps your figure shiny.
And when you're using like a Black Series or McFarlane or Marvel Legends or something, I would agree with you, but I'm not going to put my Hot Toy through that.
It's not for Hot Toys. No, that's why I said if it's not fabric, it's not fabric, like if it's 303, like the leather, like if you have leather figures, like let's say my Spider-Man Last Stand, right? And I want to emphasize that it's raining. You can tell when jeans are wet, but he has dark jeans, so it's not going to come out in the shot. But the jacket, it will. So if I coat it with the 303, and let's say I coat the top of his dome with the 303, the shine stays there. As long as I have the lights set up right to get that shot that I want, and then spray the water in the air and have like a little mini fan to kind of blow the rain in a specific direction that I want it to go, right? Instead of it just flowing in a chaotic fashion, like literally direct the mist, that's going to make a shot like completely beautiful. Just pro tip, 303 helps.
I still won't do it, but all right. Each their own.
To each their own.
What's up, KJ? H Green was saying, Loco Lu, I've done that in the PixArt app that use the edit my photos. I guess he's talking about the fog and stuff or the rain. Yeah,
that's a different app I haven't had a chance to use yet. I'm gonna give it a shot to see how it looks, because there's some things I want to do, but I don't have all the utilities to do it. For instance, the smoke and mist, I like that. I don't have a vaporizer, or I mean, whatchamacallit, a vape machine, one of those machines to a fog machine. You know, I don't have one of those. Like, it's cheap, you can get, but you know, it does take up space, and you have to give it time to heat up, and then you put in the fluids, and then you know, if you do too much, your whole house will start becoming a big Halloween event.
I know. I had to air out the house today, man. Oh, we got Cinematoygrapher. What's up, Harry? How you
Hey,
doing,
what's up, guys? How's it
What's up,
going?
dude?
Every time with
Harry,
the cinematographer,
David,
huh?
Loco Lu.
Hey, David. Hi,
How you
Loco.
doing?
What's up?
How's it going, guys?
Chilling.
I'm gonna let you guys take a minute. Lou, can you lead them for a minute? I have to use the restroom, and I know Dave's got to go, but I thought you guys would want to meet real quick.
Cool, for sure.
Yes, I know.
Sorry, I'm a little late, guys. I literally took a little nap. Never woke
We're
back
gonna
up.
dock your pay. We're gonna dock your pay.
Yeah.
We hate you now. Get out of here.
Yeah. So what figures do you like to do shots with?
For me, mostly Hot Toys. I mostly work with 1/6 scale, but Hot Toys probably the only 1/6 scale that I really work with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes TB League or some Toys era stuff.
TB League. Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do I have one?
What about you guys?
I'm a bit of everything. I'd say mostly NECA.
Oh, okay, NECA.
Yeah,
Cool.
McFarlane.
Okay.
Odd McFarlanes.
Okay.
Mezcos,
I don't really touch much Marvel
Mezcos.
Legends, but
Okay.
Storm Collectibles. Hold up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So do you do mostly 1/6 Loco, or do you do
A little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything? Okay, cool.
Yeah. So, like,
So,
if I really enjoy a figure, let me get that light out. If I really enjoy a figure, I'm gonna be taking tons of shots. And as you
That
can
actually
tell,
makes sense.
I'm a turtle head. So
yeah, absolutely.
yeah. So I got like doubles of all the movie figures.
Mhm,
I
mhm.
got singles of the cartoon, but movie
Okay,
figures is where
okay.
it's at. So like Shredder.
Oh, okay.
And
The classic
Yeah.
stuff.
classic stuff. So it's funny you say TB League. So I'm gonna bring out my
Oh
Mary Jane.
yes, yeah. Of course, you gotta have one of those.
Ay. Yeah. So yeah. So I have a good variety of figures that I take pictures of, and
That's cool.
it's not it doesn't have a limit, and I like that. Having no limit means you could do multi-scale displays, which I
That is
talked
true.
about before. I think you probably heard of this group, Articulated Comic Book Art. They do a lot
I
of toy
actually
photography.
haven't heard of them. Is it
They're
Instagram?
on Facebook, and
Oh, okay.
we originally, when I say we, it's because it's a whole community.
Okay.
We all started on YouTube. So
Okay,
we
that's
would have
cool.
a whole figure display, like it will look like a city scene or inside
so
of
cool.
Kingpin's office or whatever,
uh.
and you'll see like a bunch of hand ninjas fighting Daredevil
So
and
cool.
Electra or whatever, and it's all set to look like a comic
Mhm.
book spread.
Oh, that's so cool.
So like that's where I come from, and
Okay,
that's where I got into the hobby of taking photos.
Okay,
But
cool.
most of it is just like you do a display, then you take a video of it, and it like, think of the Matrix when they're
Mhm.
fighting and they just like take that camera and pan around the whole
Oh, I see.
while it's in mid frame and just
Mhm.
like mid action. That's what it looks like.
Ah, that's
The
so
bullet
cool.
time.
Yeah,
H.
bullet
Reeves
time.
and Loco Lu, I need to send you pics of all my containers of Black Series doubles that I used in a lot of my photos. Is he hinting at sending you some Black Series? I don't know, but that's what I'm reading out of it. What do you think?
Send me pics of his containers of Black Series. That's what he's
just pics.
because like these containers right here, all SH figure arts between
Dang.
Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, Dragon Ball.
Dave
Dragon Ball.
has the Guyver figures, and you have the Guyver figures.
Oh yeah.
Dave, which Guyver ones do you have? Because I'm still good.
I've got him, and I've got Guyver 1. Oh, and I've got Guyver 3.
From
I got Guyver 3, Guyver Gigantic, Gigantic Dark, Guo, 1, 2, and 3. Do I have any of the? I don't think I have any of the Zoonoids.
I used to have a bunch of them, but I had them in like an old apartment years ago, And when the girlfriend at the time and I broke up, she just got a bin bag and just put everything along the shelf and put everything in. Yeah, a lot of things got destroyed or broken.
Wow.
I think even one of my I think my Guyver Gigantic, I'm sure he's got a break at the forearm and things as well.
Well, these figures are extremely fragile.
Yeah.
Like they use brittle plastic. They don't use none of the good stuff that we get now. But if you take care of it, it does, hold up over time. I'm going to have a specific shelf.
That was a long time. That was about like 16, 17 years ago or so they came out.
I'll tell you the date. All this is in kanji, so
I've not shot MacGyver since like well into the start of my toy shoot photography career. I'm gonna have to go back to him soon.
I haven't done Guyver shots since Figma did their last Guyver run, and I have just that one Guyver. I want to get Guyver 2, the female version, any one of them. But it's not a passion for me no more for Guyver figures.
Yeah,
you can send them my way, Lou. I'll take them. They'll be passion for me.
Oh no! I didn't say I was getting rid of them. I'm saying it's like hunting the rest of the line is not important to me anymore. It's like I already know what these figures are, how they last over time. Like I had to get 2 Guyver 1s just to repair the first one that I got.
Hook me up with one, right?
But it's all pieces now. You don't want the pieces. So
I need a show for Kumachi, man. Come on.
Listen, I'm just saying, aftermarket prices ain't too bad.
No, they go for like $300, dude. I can't do it. Not one of the hot toys that I need to buy.
But then again, there's a company which I think it's Max Factory, and they're gonna go into 6 scale stuff. And I've seen prototypes of Guyver 1 and Guyver 3.
Man, you need.
And it looks
amazing. As soon as they come out with that, you need to let me know, man. I need to.
For sure, man. Because I will get those 1/6 scale Guyver figures, fully detailed. Come on, I'm gonna throw an LED light.
It's gonna get David, right? David, is that gonna get you in the 1/6 scale? They do Guyver 1/6 scale.
I don't know. We'll see.
Do it. Yeah.
I was just saying the ones that's kind of been teasing me was the Batman Superman, like the Nightmare Batman 2-pack. Yeah. And kind of maybe a Mando, but then I don't know.
Mando's a great one, man. He's one of my favorites. Before you, I know it's getting late for you. In fact, you're actually overstayed what you're saying, but I wanted to show.
My welcome.
Oh no, you're welcome to stay here. I just want to keep you up all night. Harry here, are you familiar with Dave's work?
Yes, actually, I do follow him on Instagram. I come across his work a lot, and it's amazing. So your lighting, your scenes,
that's The Witcher.
That shot, your compositions.
I like how the light is just like grazing them. Yeah, look at that.
Look at all that, man. Look at all that.
Setup is insane.
I wish I remembered to do this half the time. Half the time it's taking me so long to find the pose that I want, or gotten everything set up, and it's like 2 a.m, and I'm like, hell with it. So I never take any of the behind the scenes shots.
Nah. First thing you do is once you set up your scene, take a shot of it.
But then I don't end up using that scene. Like I'll be halfway through the process and I've taken that shot and be like, yeah, cool. And then I realize I don't like where anything is.
That's another thing that I dealt with when I started taking pictures, and I had to tell myself, listen, if I'm going to take this shot, the focus is not the background. That's flavor. The focus is the figure, the pose. Everything else in the background is just background. So it doesn't matter where it's posed. Like, yeah, you may want it to look a specific way, but once you set it, forget it.
Yeah, well, I did do my behind the scenes for today's shot. This is going to be posted tomorrow for Predness Day.
Predness Day.
Not that the predator is really prevalent in the shot, but but dude, Dave, man, I don't want to keep you. I mean, I'd love for you to stay, but I know you got to work tomorrow, double shift. So I'm I'm gonna let you go if you want. I don't know
Yeah.
if you feel like you have to stay or anything. I've kept you half
And I'll
hour.
probably end up sitting here all night if I'm left. But yeah, no, that's fine. Thank you very much for having me, and it was nice meeting you guys.
Pleasure.
Dave,
Yeah,
is there
super
anything
nice
you
meeting
wanna-
you, David.
is there anything you want to let the watchers know? Like anything you want them to, anything you got going on that you might want to have them watch out for you? Give you a moment.
I've got pictures coming, so like them.
There you go.
I was thinking the other day of doing an Instagram a live shoot one day. So just, it could be an hour long thing, but it would just be me shooting a photo live and talking about the whole process. Like not even just jumping in when the photo's set up, pretty much starting with a blank table, going through what my idea is and how I do my processes, how I set my lights up, how the shot will evolve from, just, oh, here's the figure like this. And then by the end of it, he's a guy fighting 6 aliens, and how we get there. So it's something I'm kind of toying with in my head. So yeah, maybe the next month or so we might do that and see how it goes. But yeah, thank you for everyone for tuning in and watching, and thanks for everybody that follows
I'm
me.
so
and
happy that
supports
you were
my
able to
figures.
be here. I know it's late over there for you, comparatively speaking, and I so much appreciate you being here. I really do.
Okay, thanks very much for
I'd love
having
to
me.
have you back at some point.
Yeah.
Preferably when we just keep you all night, man. We'll just have fun. We'll just start veering off, talk about.
If it was any other night, I usually stay up till like 3 a.m, but I was up early today, and then I'm working all day tomorrow.
That's good, man.
Yeah, usually I'm up till like 3, 4 a.m. anyway.
All right.
That sounds like a typical man. Typical man.
Yeah. Right. Enjoy the rest of your night, guys.
Bro.
Right. Take care.
Thanks,
Bye.
man. Thanks so much for being here. Have a great
Thanks,
night.
man. Bye.
That's funny, Maz. That was some of the same things I suggested to you to do.
Well, I intend to do that, but I have to get a longer USB cable for this camera so I can bring it over to where I'm shooting at.
Get to it, my brother, because I'm doing the same thing. Amazon.
That's where I went. The longest I could find for this connector to that connector was a 10-foot cable. So I don't know.
They have extended attachments. Get double the length and get the connector. That's it.
Sure.
You can do that. You can do that. There's a shortcuts.
Man, but it is something I want to do. But I'll need a co-host for sure. Either Harry or Lou or somebody can help negotiate what's going on. So because I won't be able to watch the screen and all that kind of stuff.
Are we talking about like doing a live stream on like Instagram or?
No, here, man. Shoot.
Like, here. Okay.
Yeah. What I would suggest, don't live stream it. Make it a separate video. See how that works before you go into a live stream. Because in the live stream, you have more things to do and
well, that's why I need somebody like him or Harry or even Ben or one of my other regulars.
Yeah, but see, we can do that like through StreamYard without streaming, and actually record ourselves as we're talking about what's going on in the shot.
Sounds like a lot of work.
No, it's not. It's actually more work to do streaming. Because you have to connect to your audience and then connect to your panel. Give your attention to what you're doing. So that's your attention is divided 3 times. At least when you're recording, you can edit that out.
Yeah. If you say something, not very PG, you can always add, cut that out
it's rated R all the time, baby.
So Harry, man, it's great to see you. We missed Saturday, of course, because Harry's going to be one of my regulars on my Saturday stream when he doesn't have other things happen in real life.
It's had some family stuff to deal with on Saturday, but yeah.
So hopefully this Saturday, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'm thinking I should be free. Yeah, so I'll try and make it. I'll try and make it over regularly.
But I'm looking at the regulars for the Toy Talk. At this point, should be H Green, Ben, and you. And anybody else is a guest at that point. Sorry, Lou. I love you.
No. That's perfectly fine because that's family time for me, baby.
Trying to build my own.
That's right. Go ahead for it, man. I'll support you, man. I'll be watching and hitting those likes. You already know.
Oh yeah, cigars and bacon. Yeah, he'll be a regular too. Can't
No. We don't talk about cigars and bacon.
He's right there. So Harry, what you got going on this week, man? Your Instagram.
Actually, I'm still kind of just recovering still because if anybody wasn't aware, I was basically like bedridden for the last 2 weeks or so. And when I got better, I was just kind of like I don't really feel like shooting. I'm just kind of recovering. So, but I'm hoping to maybe do a live stream as well of just the whole process, like David was saying, like the whole process from the beginning to the end to the editing. So I'm thinking of doing that. Hopefully, before the month ends. So that's what I'm thinking about. Oh yeah, here we go.
Harry, you weren't here this week so far. Did you see what Hot Toys did to this?
Oh yes, I saw that, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta get on that like immediately. I mean, honestly,
we'll
it
talk about it more
looked.
on Saturday, but that's one of your more recent pictures too. So I was like,
This
I
is
had
the
to
most
mention
recent one. So I'm definitely getting Green Goblin. Doc Ock is something that I'm definitely getting as well. He's just those arms are just amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
And I
jump
think
into that on Saturday. I don't, as much as I don't mind the occasional tangents, but let's try to keep it sort of on topic for the people that watch this later and go, what happened?
yeah, for sure.
Nah, we're going straight to the left. I'm telling you, we're going to the left.
Now, if Hot Toys drop something while we're on, we'll switch. We'll
yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Um,
real quick, I just want to drop this in there. Since we're talking about Green Goblin and Spider-Man, Hot Toys, Sideshow just waitlisted Mysterio.
yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got mine locked in before it went down. I'm like, oh nope, click, got mine.
Oh, so you're able to get one. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I acquired one, and then I'll get the next two later.
You know what's gonna make you laugh? I pre-ordered this guy.
You got the Power Ranger Green Goblin,
Deluxe, man. And you know why? Because there was no NRD.
Yeah,
and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll change my mind. But right now, we'll just go ahead and lock that in.
Okay.
Just in case.
Bravo.
So I'm not paying that extra $25 out of my pocket right then and there. Like if I decide to do it, I'm not locked into it. So if I get wishy-washy and want to drop it, I'm not like losing any money. So I was like, you know what? It doesn't cost me anything to pre-order it. I can cancel it the moment it even gets in the warehouse if I want to.
Yep.
So, but yeah, if you guys, again, kind of deviating to the Hot Toys topic just a little bit, if you guys are interested in the Hot Toys or any Green Goblin Hot Toys figure or 1/6 scale figure, Sideshow currently has him up on their website for pre-order with the glider. He's like $375.
$375. Yep.
But there is no NRD right now for pre-ordering, so there's you have no skin in the game whether he comes in or not. You can choose to cancel him the day he arrives if you want because you didn't pay any deposit.
Yep.
So get the pre-order in now and make don't do any payments or anything. Just pre-order. Just hit the pre-order button. There's actually no payments right now either. You can't even
now, Miles, real quick before we move on.
Yeah.
The placement order, like the release date is January into March of 2023, right?
So next year.
You know how many things we're getting in 2023? That at least on my pre-order list. Promo Spider-Man.
Okay.
Integrated suit Spider-Man with the base. Carnage. Venom 2.5. Doctor Strange from the same film of Spider-Man. Wait, I'm wrong. Hold on. I'm wrong. This is slated for April-June. Sorry.
Okay.
This is slated for April-June. But we also got Armorized Deadpool and a couple of other things coming in at that time slot.
You do.
So if they give this to us early, it's gonna. The wallet is gonna hurt more than anything else. I'm like, before you get divorced, your wallet's gonna be divorced from your money, and then your money's gonna be divorced from you. It's crazy.
I think it's safe to say that we're not getting any of these until probably 2023, though. to be quite honest.
2023. So, and yeah, that was something I noticed with the pictures of the Hot Toys one. Again, I'm trying not to go too far, but it is something I did notice. He doesn't really have the purple on the top of his head at all.
Yeah. I think that's like
on the original Raimi, he's got a little bit of purple on that back part of his dome.
Yeah, it's a pearlescent paint that on certain light it'll change color. It's really all green, but in certain lights it'll change color.
I think they only used the purple light to show you before because when you look at the in hand, from Secret Base, there's like no purple whatsoever. I have those pictures saved on my hard drive for Saturday when we go talking about it, but
Yeah, they might have based that off of the CGI model. They probably just didn't even think about the purple.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, that's sad because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be purple.
Hmm.
But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Um,
At least we're getting a Green Goblin.
It's green.
I want Doc
Yeah.
Ock though. This is the one I actually want.
Yes. Doc Ock is the one that I really, really want. Sure.
And we may get extra arms because I saw it in the photo. We have plain arms, and in
That's
the
what I
promo
was
pictures, it was
saying.
red and gold.
Magazine
So
had
that's
the
what
red
I was
arms,
saying.
and then the shots that they shot with Goblin didn't have red arms. So
Oh, yeah, interchangeable. Probably deluxe, I'm assuming.
probably not even a deluxe. That's just what it comes with. And if it is a deluxe, it's
If
gonna
that's the
suck.
case. Yeah.
even if it's a deluxe, it's a must-have. So.
That's true, but it's gonna
kinda like
suck
the
because you
Goblin,
may want to display two of them. So you may want to get a regular one and a deluxe one.
Yeah.
I don't need.
It's kind of like Goblin. It's like if you don't get deluxe, it's like why would you not get the deluxe? Like no
It's-
glider. What kind of Goblin?
Space.
Yeah,
Space.
I guess
A
so,
lot of
but
people,
it's just
yeah, it doesn't make sense,
Yeah.
but it's space, and it's
true.
considered a vehicle. Some people just want the
that
character,
is
not the
true.
vehicle.
That's true. Yeah, but for me, it's like if you got Green Goblin, you gotta have the glider. It's just
What was that last comment, Maz?
Mike Hollis was saying this is a Raimi Goblin, not a No Way Home Goblin. No Way Home would be battle damage with the hood.
Wrong. This is a No Way Home based on the glider and the fact that the armor is technically battle damaged. You see some of the silver brushings on the armor. That's not prevalent in the Raimi verse. You see that in No Way Home.
Damn it, Harry! Why didn't you take any pictures, man?
I know. Sorry, I'm just really trying to get back into it. But
Look at that, Rex.
oh, thank you, thank you.
This is
Yeah.
I love the perspective here. I need to do this in more of my shots where I have the focus behind something that's in front of the your focus. You know,
Yeah, it really sells to death. And the way I did that was actually really interesting. I just took the hologram piece and I put it right here, like right in front of the lens, like right here. Yeah.
on the mouse. Right.
Oh yeah, I put it like right here, like right in front of the lens, and it just sit right there. And
That's
it gave it a really convincing effect. I'm like, all right, I'll go with that.
Yeah, and you don't have to find a place on the table or anything to set it. You just put it right up against the camera, so it's like
right up against the camera.
Way the hell out. And so long as you got some room to focus on your main subject.
Mm-hmm.
My eyesight's so bad though, I have to use the autofocus. Even though I can hit the button and tell it where to autofocus, I have to use that. I can't. My eyesight's horrible now. So
yeah. It's the same for me too. It's like I have to like zoom all the way into like, oh, is that in focus or yeah?
And even then, I can't see it half the time. So what I would do in this situation, if I was doing the same shot, of course, what you're doing here, but I would focus Rex first, then lock my focus so the autofocus stops hunting.
Makes sense.
And don't move Rex, and then put him wherever you want. Put the hologram bit wherever you want. And yeah.
I wish I could get my hands on like a lidar kit. That would be amazing. I don't know if you guys know what lidar.
Well,
yeah,
lidar.
Yeah. So that would be.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing to have that.
If your phone supports lidar, but I had to get the work for crap. It looks like garbage every time I do it. Because I was trying to 3D print stuff before. Lou, have you seen his stuff before? Were you on the stream?
Yeah, I wasn't on, but I was watching, of course. But I've seen his stuff. The Superman with the skeleton, that one's phenomenal too.
Oh, thank you.
That's phenomenal. I love the contrast and all the little tricks that you're doing. Right, we do that at ACBA.
Okay.
You know, because they use when they don't have smoke effects, they'll take polyester from like Michaels or anything like that. And they'll take it, stretch it out, and bring it close to the camera, and it will create that fuzz. So if you bring some of it into the shot, in mid-shot, and then some of it in close, you can create a fog effect.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep.
Wow.
I like this, the black suit, advanced suit. I like that.
Advanced. I just thought like it's got the perfect design for the black suit, like the spider symbol. It's huge and it's white, so it's like, dude, this looks exactly like the symbiote suit.
So you just clear
I actually had to mask out the blue area and the white area and the red area, and then I had to manually turn the red into black and blue into black. Otherwise,
wow.
they don't really match. Like the saturation
You
doesn't
can see
really
it's
match.
supposed to be red though. I can still see that a bit, but I
Yeah.
thought it was like a low light version of the advanced suit. I didn't know you were going for the Venom here.
Yeah. But yeah, I think in the end it looks okay. Could be a little bit more black, I think, but yeah, that's fine.
Mike
I was
Halls
kind of
wants to
also.
fight with you, Lou. He wants to fight with you tonight, but let's do a stream, man. We're gonna Mike Halls. You can fight with him Wednesday.
He wants to fight with me later.
He wants to fight with you about the goblin.
Oh boy, here we go.
You're still going on, man.
Well, if you look at the glider's clearly No Way Home.
I'm gonna just stop showing those. I'll let you guys fight on.
Yeah, it's clearly No Way Home. But that's about it.
I love this angle for Cap here too.
That's probably my favorite shot of Cap that I did for sure.
Wow.
It's just the the posture, the angle, it just makes him look so powerful, I think.
The only thing that takes away from this is the head sculpt.
Gritting teeth?
It just it looks like a head sculpt on a figure. Just doesn't have that organic look like some of the other head sculpts. Which is one of the reasons why I don't buy this figure myself, even though I don't really buy into Marvel. It's I've always kind of tempted because I was like, this is the Cap to get if you're to get a Cap.
It really is.
But I see stuff like that, and I'm like, and there's nothing wrong with your shot or anything. It just
it's the toy.
The grinning teeth isn't the best face plate for sure. That's why I just kind of go with the regular one. It just looks more natural. This one looks a little derpy
too to pull off some of these shots. Like
exactly. So
the shot I'd want to do is where he's like, I can do this all day, but not of course when he says it, but when Thanos is like standing over him, with his army coming in, and he's just like tightening up his stuff and like go at it some more. But that requires a close-in shot of his teeth, really, because that's where that sculpt comes from. Really, that's the teeth shot.
Yeah, there was a shot where I had to basically kind of replace his whole face because it looked too toyish. Thank you. Yeah, this is an idea I was playing with. I'm like, all right, what if Thanos just immediately kills Iron Man? What next? Which I think would happen, to be honest, if Iron Man was going against Thanos. Young Thanos. What was that shot right there of him holding the Mjolnir right under Thanos? Yeah, that right there. I had to replace his eyes, just his eyes actually. But
just to look to the side.
Yeah, just look to the side, and then his mouth just kind of looks a little wonky.
His mouth still looks kind of off, unfortunately. I know you're.
It sells it for me, man. It's like if you look at it in glance, and you're not like looking at it, trying to see if there's any imperfections. You just look at it at glance. It's like, wait, that's from the film.
Yeah,
and that's the effect you want. You want people to look at him like, oh
that's
no, that's a boy.
Shots, man. It's crazy.
I think it's mostly the black bars as well. That
Gamora looks crazy.
Oh, I love that. I love the black bar, and I love how you get the signatures, man. I tried to build my own, not to copy yours or anything, because I this before I knew you, but I tried to build my own kind of sci-fi looking graphic, and I can't do it.
Actually, that was just like a little preset that I got from a service that I was using, and you pay for that. It's like $30 a month, and they give you like a bunch of random presets that you can use, and that was just one of them. And I'm like, hey, that looks kind of cool, and then I kind of fix it a little bit to make it look more like mine.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Was it a phone app or something?
No, it's actually this service called Motion Array. They have like a bunch of different presets for video editing, for for photography, that kind of stuff.
That Gamora is beautiful, man.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the figure itself is actually pretty
that looks like it's right out of the movie, man.
Oh, thank you.
Your work puts money to shame. I'm just saying.
What do you have in the background?
That's actually just the part of the background. Actually, it's in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah,
I thought it was a figure.
I wish they made them. That would be cool. Just have a bunch of them standing in the background.
Oh man, that's dope.
Thank you.
I love this shot, man. I mean, the hair looks like it's moving in a breeze. Did you have a fan or something running?
Actually, I didn't. I think it's just.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's just the way it sits. Yeah.
I'm gonna send some shots before I head out to Maz's messenger real quick.
Oh yeah. And when you do this, what kind of lighting, if you can recall, were you
So
doing?
I'm doing the same thing as all the other shots. I'm taking that one light that I have. I don't know where I put it.
Let me bring you
But yeah.
into focus here. All right.
Yeah, it's just that one light that I had, and I did the same thing. I put the figure right here, and then I took the light and I just did some light painting all around from the back and in the front. And then I took all of that into Photoshop, and then I just kind of picked the frames that I like with the lighting that I like, and then you just kind of overlay them on top of each other. Yeah, just like every other shots.
Lou sent me some more pictures.
Yeah, I'm sending some pictures before I head out.
Let's take a look.
Well, we will as soon as my computer wants to get.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh, it's right
I'm
there.
taking over. I'm taking over the stream.
All right, here we go. Boom. All right. So Lou shoots on his phone.
I think I'm still. Yeah. Okay. There we go.
I gotta hit this button here. Here we go. And
Shoot this on your phone. Wow.
Yeah.
the Spider-Man noir going on. Dude, I'm way behind. Hold on. Where's the beginning of this? Are you done? It's sending me more. Stop.
Hold on. I ain't done yet. Now I'm done.
Now this is one of my favorites you've done too. Actually,
Hold on.
dang it, Lou.
That's it.
Yeah, that one's actually really good too. This is with your phone. What are you doing for lights here, Lou?
Nothing. Everything's in the
Wow,
diorama.
practical lighting. Wow.
So just room lighting from your
This is
whatever.
straight from the diorama. No other lights.
Oh, it's got lights in the diorama.
Mm-hmm. They don't even sell this anymore.
Yeah, I was gonna pick this up, but then I was like, this 1/12 scale. I would have to get like 2 or 3 sets.
I got
of those.
2 of them to make this shot work,
okay,
and
okay.
it's 2 for the diorama that I made in the back. So I disassembled this and made a wall for my sit scale.
Okay.
I need to make one of these for my aliens, man. Where'd you get this from? You got to link it to me and tell me when I need.
It's not. They don't sell it no more.
It's gone. They might come back once in a while, maybe.
Yeah, but they do the ones without the lights.
Yeah. Who made them?
What?
Who made
I
them?
can't remember who.
Ubiquitous Nova.
Ubiquitous,
Nova.
yes.
Nova's the company, and Ubiquitous is the name of the product. And I think Big Bad Toy Store has them, but they're not the light up featured one. Okay. It looks like it, but it doesn't have the actual lights in it.
Yeah, that's kind of annoying.
Can you put lights in it yourself though?
If you want to risk popping it open and getting a USB cable connector for each LED light section, you can. Because all these is connected via USB ports.
Man.
Yeah, that's a lot of work. But
check eBay or something.
With the lights, it looks super good.
It's very, very annoying. Because everything that you see there is panels. It's two halves. So you put the wires in between, make sure that they fit. If they don't fit, you have to reconnect them and make sure that they fit in, and then squish them in to make sure they don't pop out. So it's annoying.
Yeah,
so but
it looks good.
Is that what you're using? 2
of them, yeah.
All right. So if I go on eBay or something trying to find them, it's 2 of them. I need 2 of them. You
need 2 of them, and there's 2 types. There's the expansion pack and then the main pack. You need the main pack, and main pack looks like a doorway.
So I need 2 of those.
Yeah.
This would work perfectly for Alien.
Yeah, I would love to use it for an Alien shot, man.
Yeah, this would work perfectly.
Yeah, that's my favorite shot that I did with Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, that looks so good.
And it's still using the lights just from that setup?
Just the lights from the setup and my phone. That's it.
What phone are you using again, Loco?
iPhone. At that time, that was an iPhone 10.
Okay.
The X. So right now I got an 11.
Okay. Yeah, like that looks great for like phone shots, honestly.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of phone shots. Yeah, and not a whole lot of them are great, but this looks really good.
Look at that, man.
And this is what I'm talking about, with telling a story.
RGB?
What?
I'm sorry. Is this an RGB lights, or did you put some other lights in there for this shot?
No, it changes color.
Oh, on its own, or do you get the?
You can. It comes with a remote. You can put a watch battery in and change the lights in it, or you could physically do it on the motherboard that it comes with, and it's the motherboard's built into the wall, so it's one specific square piece that has switches, so you can make the lights pulsate. If you wanted to change color while it's pulsating, or just stay in a static color. So you can
I've
choose
seen a lot of
blue.
people do this thing before, and I never knew what exactly it was. I thought it was just a custom thing, and I was like, how does so many people have the same custom thing? But now it makes sense.
Well, when I started doing reviews on with this, people started copying the flow. So I'm like, hey, Flav, thank you.
Mhm.
Oh,
This way,
Loco,
I
where did you
love-
get that? I got it from here. This is what it is. Okay, everybody's doing it. Now this is another favorite shot of mine. All tangible. The buildings there is not CGI. It's from an old box from my Ghostbusters Stay Puft Marshmallow
Oh,
Man.
really? Oh, you can see him right there too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's how I use him to hide the flight stands.
Okay.
I just wish
Very
that I
clever.
had some kind of like sky in the background because
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
where it kills it for me.
A little
But
bit.
the poses and the buildings, it works.
Yeah, the Scarlet Spider. Oh my God.
I love that figure.
Love
My
that
first
figure.
Spider-Man.
Okay. Advance was my first Spider-Man, but the posability on Scarlet Spider, you just can't beat.
I like this one a little bit better. Although you get the reflection on the cardboard up here.
Yeah, and that's why that one's not my favorite.
But what I like about this one over the other one is
I like
here
the
the
rim light.
figures look like they're just pasted on top of a picture of the other guys, whereas this one they look like they're more in the scene.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the glare on that is kind of pulling your eye. But,
And I like the little rim light that you got on Scarlet Spider as well. It brings him out more from the background.
That was a flashlight. I had it on the floor.
Okay. That
Now,
works.
what
Oh,
is
this
this
is
scene here?
great.
That is a diorama I purchased on eBay, and it was a one-off. And I'm glad I purchased it because it looks great with my turtles and
It
my
looks
other stuff.
so good. And the lighting, like,
Alien that Dave
little
has,
alien there too.
the turtles themed alien figure.
Yeah, that's the sewer sewer mutation xenomorph that was like an exclusive and a allude to NECA doing turtles that year. So you got the first animated turtles in a bundle, which you got 4 turtles, 2 foot soldiers, Krang and his walker, and Shredder. And now we got all the other stuff.
Look at this. This is awesome diorama.
These shots are great, by the way. Like
Thank
the,
you.
like the lighting on here, and and the depth of field, and oh my God,
So why can't you
all
keep
on
doing
phone
stuff like
shots.
this, Lou? Not all yours look like this.
Why? Because sometimes I
Sometimes
just
you
don't have
put-
the time. At that time, I had time. So
This
like-
looks like you could have easily said this was taken on like the most expensive camera. This is
Yeah.
like really well done.
yeah, it's all about lighting and how you light your
It
figures,
really
man.
is. It really is.
And that's a great case in point. That should be like, I'm gonna actually steal this picture and use it for a lighting figure thing. It's all about lighting kind of thing. If you don't mind, because
I don't mind, bro. I don't mind as long as you give me credit. That's it.
we're gonna have you as a legitimate guest one week, and we're gonna use it as a thumbnail, and we're gonna talk about lighting. So do your
That's-
homework. Make sure you're ready to talk about lighting, and not Green Goblins and Hot Toys.
I didn't mention it. You just
I know
did.
you didn't.
But see
But I know
here,
you and I will end up going down that road. So we need to make sure we can try to stay focused.
we'll stick to topic on photo. But like here, I have the actual lights on the figures, and then I'm using room lighting to make this stand out a little bit. But where I have the lights at, it's very subtle. So like in my place, I don't have like a lamp that turns on the light. Mine's is actual spotlights, circles in the ceiling. So they drop and they spread out. So I can literally find a corner where the light is evenly being distributed without it being direct, so it doesn't cause any harsh shadows.
What you might want to do though in the future, like if you were to do this shot again, the one thing I would suggest is just get some kind of the opposite of a bounce card. So like a black version of this.
Oh,
yeah.
To detract some of that light, especially from I'm pointing to it, particularly from this lower portion right here, because this light, which is what is supposed to be your light source. Like if the viewer, this is what we're seeing, and this is what we're assuming is gonna be a light source, right? But you obviously got an outside light, and this is lighting this edge up too much because it should be falling off that edge and getting darker and darker real quick down here, right?
That depends, because this is half
part.
of a this is half of a sword. That platform, right? That's supposed to lead into something else.
Oh, I know.
So
But
like if you go to an actual store, which I've been to an actual store, and you see the lights, there's lights everywhere. So where you think would be dark, it won't really be dark. There'll be something else giving you light, so that way you don't fall into a pit or something.
I got that, but see how this light along here is all even. It's like you're
I get you
directly at it. So you have one or two ways you can affect this. You can either bounce it with something dark to make it fall off, so that you're not, of course, true to the sewer being completely lit real well, or you can change the direction of them and have the light coming either from. You don't want to do top because it's going to splash too much light on their backs and stuff, but maybe from one side to the other, so that you have a like this texture here gets brought out more, and you have a fall off somewhere of shadow falling off, because that's just what you need, just some kind of fall off here, because that pulls it out with this.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
But if you could do that, I mean, you could even take it. I could probably take it in the Lightroom right now and drop a gradient of just a shadow gradient, and probably like totally nuke that into like 100% range, like just like that last picture, you know.
Yeah,
so
but as is, I lit it the way I see it in the film, and in the film they're using other lights. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I want the figures to stand out as much as possible in the shots to show that.
Don't get defensive. I'm just pulling it apart.
I'm just simply explaining. I'm just simply explaining, brother.
If they see that and go, that's where my head's at, to maybe answer that that they might be seeing. Harry, you want to critique this too?
I was gonna say, in the movies, usually they have a bunch of random lights because, you know, sometimes it's just too dark and they kind of simulate, I guess, a little bit unrealistic lighting a lot of times in movies. So I see where you're coming from. I do see where Moss is coming from as well, because for me, the main light source should be on top, and the yellow as well. So seeing a bit more white lights, I'm just kind of like, where is that coming from? Is that from moonlight, or is that, you know, I do question it. But if you're trying to, you know, mimic the movies, then I totally see where you're coming from, because they do that a lot in movies.
Here's the easiest suggestion to that I would consider: just get like a blue gel and put it whatever that front light is, put it in front of that front light, the one that's hitting it from the front.
That's not front light. That's what I was explaining. It's from the room.
It's room light, but
room lighting from the tops, because it was too dark. Like you couldn't see anything from the shot.
Well, just
that's probably what they do in movies as well. Because sometimes, like, oh hey, we're trying to use practical lighting and stuff, but then sometimes it doesn't look, you know, as bright as you want it to be. So they would throw in like other extra lights, just kind of faking, you know.
Yeah. In
have a good night, Ben.
What's that?
Have a good night, Ben.
Ben, pleasure. Let me see, what time is it? Yeah, I'm about to head out in about a minute. Yeah, so I really wanted to get close to the cinematography of the film, which I know for a fact they use bounce off lights and, you know, reflective lighting and stuff like that, just so that way you can see what's going on. They didn't want to hide the turtles like they do with AVP or Aliens or Predator, where they're trying to hide the creature. They really want the suits to be seen.
Oh yeah, the '90s movie was very well lit. And stuff. I get where you're going from it.
Anything with turtles, anything with the movie Turtles, I always replicate what I saw in the film. I don't want to, you know, steer away too far, because if I do, like, I feel like it's too dark.
No, I get you. I've run into that too, trying to find that happy medium of, especially when you translate it from the backlit screen of your computer to like the internet, and you know, you're getting all this light backlit from your computer, and the picture seems brighter than it is, and then you bring it to Instagram and it's not necessarily doing that. It's, you know,
very
whatever
true.
And you're not getting that backlight like you're expecting, and it looks darker, which is half the problem with Instagram
transitions
shots. You know, like, why is it so much darker here? What's up with that? So
the Instagram sucks.
It does. But Lou, you
Not
said you gotta
greatest.
take off, man. You gotta get.
Yeah, I
moving?
got like 5 more minutes before I head out.
All right, you can't say the movie was this well lit.
No, this was
Yeah.
a test shot. I'm only working on poses.
I'm just playing with you. This one is he dancing? What's his
He's
more
web swinging. You don't see the web in his hand?
It looks kind of like he's dancing. I'm just playing with you.
Man, that diorama can get over it, honestly.
I know, man. You could just
It
use
works
it
for every situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's why I want to look into it now.
Mhm.
And this
Oh,
is his
Venom.
Venom. Harry, did you order Venom?
Yeah, I'm still waiting on him. I haven't gotten anything from Sideshow yet. Nothing. They're saying that he's releasing this month, but
He's
I
in
doubt
stock, so you should be seeing him.
Oh, is he in stock? Then what the heck?
Yeah, just send him an
This is the one
email.
thing.
Send him
This
an
is the one
email.
thing I don't like about Sideshow. They keep telling you things, and then it's like when it's here, like they don't even say anything to
This is
me.
the
Like I
first
checked.
Venom, right? Not the second one, Harry. So
Yeah. The first Venom. Yeah.
he's
I wasn't
actually in
gonna
stock.
wait.
I don't think he's on the pre-order list anymore. He's in stock.
Okay, then what the heck? Sideshow.
No, that's why I said email them. Email them
Okay.
and let them know that you're still waiting for your order to ship out. It says in stock and ready to go.
Okay.
So
Then then it should. Yeah.
I'm waiting.
And you need to email them and get those extra tongues that I told you about, Lee. He's got one tongue that the magnet's kind of bad on it, and he's like,
Well, I tested it, and it's not that it's bad; is that all the magnets are weak on the tongue.
yeah, well,
they're not strong like the head.
You get some extra tongues, so you can make your little nubbin tongue.
I know, but that's the thing. For that, I rather cast it. That way, I have full control.
I'm talking about free tongues here, Lou.
I know you're talking about free tongues here, but I ain't trying to get no free tongues.
Connects better.
I ain't trying to get no free tongues and chop it up and go crazy when I can cast certain parts and then put it together.
That's what she said.
Yep.
But we'll let you go with that one, man. We're gonna leave it right here. And Lou, I appreciate you popping in here and covering that little window there.
You know I gotta come over here and bust your chops a little bit. You know what I mean? You're my boy. If we don't have this back and forth, man, we ain't talking. We ain't friends.
But yeah, man, you have yourself a good night. I appreciate it. Go ahead and check Lou out. He's got a YouTube, and I know your link's not in the description below, so I'll have to add it after this.
No problem.
You, Lou.
And I'll add it too, because I try to just keep it to the people that are on the stream. Whereas my other one, I'll just do a complete list of affiliates, but this one, so it doesn't confuse people.
That makes sense. Well, I have a review out for Venom and how to protect your Venom figure on my channel, and the next review will be my custom Spider-Man Last Stand later this weekend, and I'll be having a different segment on my channel, which you would see on Sunday.
All right.
So
sounds good.
That's going to happen this week. But everybody, don't forget to like, share, subscribe to Maz. And big shout out to everybody who's been here on the panel. And yeah, man, do your part.
I appreciate it. Go have fun at work, man.
You know I'm going to, man. I bring my toys to work. Later, guys. Peace.
All right. Nice meeting you, Lou.
Later,
likewise.
Lou. Yeah. All right, Harry.
Cool. Mr. Maz.
So you weren't on earlier, so I want to see what you got to say about some of the shots that I've been working on today.
Yeah, and I apologize again for that.
I told you 7, and then you fell asleep. It happened.
Yeah, I totally fell asleep. I was like, shit.
This is the one I shot while you were sleeping, man.
Look at that lighting and the Predator in the back.
That's all on camera.
Is that practical? Yeah, like I was gonna say, the crack on the wall. That's all practical, right?
The only thing that's not practical is the sparks.
Okay, that makes sense.
And a little bit of extra smoke right around that to kind of give it some more depth.
Okay.
But the debris, that's all on camera.
Okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah. I had a video I showed. I'm going to show you, I guess, again. So if I can find my mouse button, I got 3 screens. It's killing me.
Can you imagine having a scene with Boba and Predator fighting? My God.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Dang it. I said remove.
It happens.
just what? Did I just get an old message from him? I just got a message from Collectors.Orbit. Oh, weird. Oh, okay. Oh, it's because I'm not sharing anything. I'm getting all these things. All right, that's it. Video. That's what I was doing. I got distracted by all this stuff popping up. Where is it? No, Loco versus Predator. There it is. Boom.
Cool.
So, this is a Predator, and this is the diorama. I got a light sit on top there. There's a blue light there.
Amazing. That's just a pink foam too, right?
Now, hold on. Back this up. This is my makeshift grid.
Okay. I mean, that works.
Well, I had made it specifically to actually make light rays happen, but it's not working.
Yeah, and then you blew in a bunch of fog as well and stuff.
Yeah. I threw some fog.
And it still didn't work. Oh, wow, interesting.
But it's not.
You can see a little bit. Yeah.
The fog machine's running, but I wasn't getting any of that light ray stuff. But it does make a nice subtle blue on him.
Yeah, that looks really
nice.
Good. And the diorama that you made there, my God, that crack looks so good.
And then there's some rebar, which is just some extra armature wire that I had, and I just kind of painted a little bit. It's not textured like rebar would be, though. But
you can't really tell.
It all just got blown out by the Predator shooting at it.
Yeah,
he's already thrown his, thing at him once.
Yep. Man.
This thing.
Yeah, and that's just a pink insulation foam, right? And you just painted that. And
just the pink foam. I just did a black gesso for the base coat. Yeah, and then I started painting some grays on there and some washes, and it wasn't a lot of work. Actually, what took me the most work was making the debris, because they all went through the same process.
That makes sense.
And it's tiny little pieces and just paint's getting all over your fingers. I was wearing gloves, but everything starts sticking. But yeah, you can see the fog machine running.
Man, gotta get me one of those for sure.
I have this light here with a snoot, and it's pointing over to the fog rack right there.
Okay.
To light that up, because I know it's going to have that explosion.
The blast. Yep.
That area. To put the explosion into. Cigars, you out of here, man? Oh, have a great night, man. Have a great night. But yeah, and then the camera settings. Now the problem that I have with this shot is because I had to shoot it so fast for the debris. You see, my ISO is auto.
Yeah.
And I'm at 1/250th, so my ISO turned out to be 6400.
Jeez.
Which makes it really
all kinds of grains. Yeah.
And that's just because I was lacking lights, If I went any brighter with my lights, it would have blown something would have gotten blown out. Like
yep.
On the figures, it would have been too much light on it. I tried it. This is where I ended up having to be at.
No, but honestly though, in the end, it looks great.
Yeah, this is only at 15% because this is just supposed to light up the front of Boba a little bit.
Yeah.
Just to give him a little bit of light. Anything more than that, again, it starts making it too bright, like it's not really part of the scene. So I had this really hard time there with getting that just right. So
yeah, it takes a few tries, I think, but I think the end result looks amazing.
But
the explosion and the light casting on the side of Boba there. Yeah,
you can see the rock debris here. Wait, over here. Okay, so the rock debris up here, here. These actually had to mask back in because this is a separate layer.
Okay.
And then the ones down here are the other layer.
Okay. Yeah, and you got some motion blur in there too. Yeah,
no, that's all natural.
Yeah.
I threw those rocks.
You threw those. Okay, that makes sense.
Speed, yeah.
Because I was looking at that. I'm like, wait, I thought you maybe had some of them on a stand or something, and then you edit out 10. But no, yeah, you just threw that in there and you on camera. That's crazy.
I should have done it, that way. To be honest with you, given how much I had to blow this out.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
I really wanted to use motion blur, like real motion blur.
Yeah. So that's completely real and natural motion blur right there. So can't really complain either.
But it's two different tosses of the rock, and actually, each toss is a different shutter speed. One of them is at 240.
Okay.
The other one's at 125. The one that's coming down is 125.
Okay.
It was certain. It was actually by accident, really, because you're doing this shot and you're throwing stuff at the wall, hoping something works like with the way it is, and what ends up working that I have to put together just happens to be 2 shots at 2 different ISOs. So if
sometimes the best stuff is by accident,
I'm sorry.
Sometimes the best stuff you get is by accident. A lot of times.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know exactly what you're getting at the time you're getting it. Yeah, you go back and you look, but when you're running that shutter at full blast to take all those frames per second, you don't want to look through all. I mean, did I get some rocks? I did. Okay, let's keep moving on because I want to get some better fog or something or whatever. And so the top section here was at the faster speed, and actually it ended up changing the lighting on the Predator and stuff. So I could only mask the rocks. If I masked anything more than that, the lighting actually would have changed entirely.
Makes sense
because of the shutter speed. So,
that's what happens when you try and get everything, practical in camera. You have to deal with all these tricks, and hey, it works.
Now this one is done really. I really love this one. It's not
the lighting.
Should I think, but I love it. That's 2 lights. That's all it is.
Okay, yeah, just orange and blue.
Yeah, it's a blue, but I'm also doing that fog grid because I was trying.
Okay.
I was trying to do that.
Get that raise,
the raise on this one too.
Yeah.
I finally was like, hell with it, man. This is actually pretty cool here. It's a nice soft blue, and it looks like it should be there. So
you've been killing it with all these boba shots, my man.
Well, I love the figure.
Yeah, it's a great figure.
But and then of course the back, I wanted to kind of go with that orange because I like to use those complementary opposites of the spectrum. But that orange turned out kind of funny because I don't know why, but it had the kind of a pink sheen to it.
It does kind of have a pink, yeah.
And I don't know why. I tried to get it out, but it's still a little pinker orange.
Yeah,
and
I'm not really sure.
I tried playing around with my orange settings in Lightroom. It didn't quite do what I wanted it to do.
Still looks really good though, honestly. So, and from first glance, like, oh, you can tell orange.
Yeah. And then this one, did we talk about this one last week?
I don't think we did. Yeah.
Did
you do this recently, or did you do this before?
I did this week actually. No.
Okay.
Oh wait, no. Today's Tuesday, so no, I did it last week, but it was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like Thursday, I guess, that I did this.
Okay. So still after we had our.
I guess so. If we didn't talk about it last week. Then.
Yeah. But wow, showdown.
Yeah, this one's all practical. All the trees and stuff are ones that I made.
Amazing.
And really, what sells this is actually the camera tilt. Because the figure, even though the Predator should be this much taller than him, in real life, the figure is only like an inch taller than him.
Yeah, so when you do this, you really make him look bigger.
That he's on a stand.
Okay.
The stand itself wasn't selling it. It still wasn't given that looming height.
Okay.
And just, I think I don't usually nail the camera tilts this well, but I think I nailed it on this one. I think it's like
this one works.
Tilt for it.
Yeah, this one works.
And it's all about the composition with this because you got him almost at the bottom of this picture, just to give you that looming, and then the Predator's all the way. I'm pointing at this thing, all the way at the top, and it creates that diagonal. So Mike is saying that he's not. Where's my mouse? God bless it. There we go. All right. You do a lot of Photoshop. I do some Photoshop. Mike needs some help with Photoshop. He says, I'm not even sure as to where to start with Photoshop and what to do with one of my picks. What do you start with?
So with Photoshop, I usually use it for compositing my lighting and stuff. So I would usually take multiple pictures with multiple lighting scenarios, and then I'll overlay them on top of each other inside of Photoshop, and then I'll set each layer on lighten or something like that, and then I'll kind of mask out the areas that I don't want, keep the areas that I want, and that's mainly what I do in Photoshop, and then just compositing other effects on top. So that's a little bit more advanced. I would suggest just going with what I was saying with compositing lighting. I think that's the best way to start because it's really easy, not a whole lot to do. So that's that's the main thing I would use Photoshop for if you're, a beginner. Just basically lighting in post. It gives you a lot of power.
I have an idea.
For sure.
So let me find. All right. We're going to do a little bit of Photoshopping.
For sure.
All right. So you've taken your pictures. All right. This is the picture that I ended up posting, I think, right here.
Mm-hmm.
But let's take this picture here and let's find one with a little bit of different lighting. Let's do this one. So I'm going to hit Control, so it selects them both, and then I'm going to go Edit, and then I'm going to open as layers. Of course, it sends it over here because Photoshop's over here. So hold on. All right. I said make it big. What are you doing? There we go. All right. So we've opened it as layers, and I got trash in my chat here. Let's remove that.
Of course, always.
So we got two different layers of this, and what he does, what Harry does. Brain just locked up for a second. What Harry does is, he'll take probably even more than this, but I got two different
a lot
shots,
more, yeah,
with two different lightings.
But you have to keep your camera perfectly still. Your camera has to be on a tripod, otherwise it's not going to work.
You're going to want to shoot on a tripod. Now, say for example, I want to light up this arm because he's going to be shooting this guy, right? So some of the light that I'm going to put on this effect for him, from like when I do the sparks and stuff, some of that light's going to reflect back at Boba Fett, right?
Yep.
So let's see. So we've lost the glare on his helmet from the light, and we've lost any light up and down this arm. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We're going to create a mask. There's a little button down here. Can you guys see it? No. I'm going to move your question out of the way, Mike, so you can see it. So you get this little button here. It's a layer mask button. Click on that. All right. So we've got a mask now, this layer. So, Harry, can you instruct the white and black part of that? I get that confused in my head.
Yeah, so basically, when you look at the mask right there, you can see that it's filled with white. That means that anything that's white, that means you want that to show. If you don't want that to show, then you paint black inside of the mask, and that will get rid of any area that you don't want. That's basically what that does.
So we're going to grab this paintbrush here.
Mm-hmm.
And we already got black as our main color selected here.
Yep.
And you don't want to probably do it the main opacity here. Probably like...
Yeah, usually you want to drop down the opacity to maybe 40, 50. Even the flow as well. You can drop down the flow as well. But
I haven't gotten too well in flow. But let's get this mask lit up a little better. All right, so as you see, this is kind of coming off. This is not working, right? So we got a little bit of light reflection on his face, but for me, I'm a perfectionist and I don't like it. But so what we're going to do,
it's the idea, right? The idea is that you have multiple lighting scenarios, and then you can use that inside of Photoshop and mask out things you don't want, keep things you do want. So basically, you're lighting in post, and it gives you so much power. Yeah.
What I'm doing here is I've switched my mask back to white over here on the color. I'm still using the paintbrush. I've made the paintbrush a little smaller. And I'm going to take some of this white and kind of quell this a little bit.
That's a great thing about working with masks because it's non-destructive. So if you don't like something, you can just go back and fix it.
And I'm going to change my opacity on this mask again. And I'm going to make this a little bigger because it's going to add like a feather to it, right? Mm-hmm. So we're going to just kind of, if you change the opacity a bit, you can always just run another like stroke or something along the top of it, or so I've only got it at 23% right now. So if it doesn't do it enough, I can run it again. That's another 20% or whatever on top of it. So we're just going to run that a couple of times until we find what we like. So we're not doing it so heavy-handedly, right? So I kind of got this side, more appropriate, but this right side needs to be a harsher, and this is where it gets a little trickier for me. We're gonna go back to black. We're gonna make this really small. Leave the opacity where it is because we're gonna just kind of compile it a bit here. We're gonna just try to bring this It's really not coming out anymore. That's a weak light. So Harry, maybe you can help me. What do I want to do if I want to bring that light out more?
Honestly, like that's the beauty of working with multiple layers and multiple lighting. You can go into that layer and edit just that layer, and you can, let's say, if you choose the top layer, and if you go into image on top right there, can you do that really quick, mouse?
Double click it like that. It brought
Oh
it
no,
up.
no, just keep it the same. Yeah, don't double click it. Just cancel that, and go on top where it says File, Edit, and Image on top left.
Oh.
Yeah, so click on the image, and then you go down Adjustments, and then Curves. This is how I adjust every single one of my layers using curves. That gives you the most power, and you can see right there, the lower on the left, that means the dark area, and the area on the right means the highlights. So then you can have like full control over the highlights and the dark and the midtone as well. And see, so if you feel like the lighting is a little bit too weak, you want a little bit more light, you can go in here, turn up the light, and you can even change color as well. If you want that to be blue instead, you can also edit that and make it that blue or green or any color that you want. And that's the beauty of
Oh, we're right
working.
up here on the channel. Is there any change?
Yeah, you can click on. This is mostly just for adjusting, like exposure and stuff. But you can go into saturations or whatever, and you can change the hue there. So let's say if you're done with this, click OK.
Well, I don't want to do it this way. Actually, I want to.
Oh, okay, yeah, for sure.
Way, but I'm going to do the same thing. So a little different than what you do, and might be the same, respectively. But you go to adjustments.
Yeah, this is a little bit more non-destructive.
I can clip it.
You can clip it to the bottom. Yep.
This layer, which is why I want to do it this way.
That's true. That's fine too. Yeah, it's a little bit more non-destructive.
So basically, what I've done here is, he showed me one way to do curves, but the way he did it wasn't to just this one layer. It was actually to all the layers. In fact, I didn't see where it was at all. But it seemed
to. With the way I did it, after you make your adjustments, you can't really go back and fix that unless you Control Z. But if you do it this way, you can just click back on the curve layer, and you can just change that. Yeah.
So what I can do here, since this is set up with this guy here, is we can select these both and we can group them. And it's just, where is the group?
And just Control G.
Yeah, but I was trying to show them.
Group.
Show them.
Yeah, group from layers right there. The one on top.
Thank you.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
So that's going to group them into a group.
Oh, it's not grouping. No. Is it frozen?
I think it's drunk.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh wait! Oh no! It's got the. It's.
That's why. Okay, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. So you name the group.
Top layer curves. That's why it popped up the window over here.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so we can still go in here and we can still play with this because we weren't done with this at all. We still want to mask this. We want to get some more light on the gun. And of course, we're still only at 20% here. Now, can you explain the flow part of? Because I'm always been kind of fuzzy on the flow bit of the mask.
Yeah, honestly, me too. Flow and opacity is very similar. I actually don't even know how to explain flow. I just kind of use them, and then it just feels right. But I don't actually know exactly what it does. Let me see if I can bring that up really quick.
You can maybe see that these what I'm doing here is a lot harsher. Like there's just, and then maybe we'll zoom out of that. Let's play the flow. Let's see what that does. Let's make this bigger.
Oh, okay. So flow in Photoshop gives you the ability to gradually build up your darkest color by overlapping multiple times in the same area without lifting the mouse click. So it's basically kind of like a pencil, where it's like when you draw a line and then it's not really dark enough, and then you kind of go over it again. That's what kind of flow is. So if you drop down, to like maybe 50%, it'll be kind of blurred out, or not blurred out, but like grayed out a little bit. And then if you go over it again, then it'll be darker. You can't do that with opacity. If you lower down the opacity, it'll be the same opacity. And that's what the difference between flow and opacity is. If that makes any sense.
But here, what we're doing here is we're blending this layer, which I'm on the curves layer right now, with the layer below it. So what it does, it is kind of allowing like the darker areas to remain dark without overblowing the dark areas with a whole bunch of light that you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this of course does the same thing for the light. Of course, I don't usually play with this end, but I'm just seeing if it does what you want it to do when it doesn't. All right. So, and then you can also play with the blending mode here.
I usually have it on lighten. That's how you get, I think, the most natural looking light blending.
Look a lot better here on this because his head was looking weird.
Mm-hmm. So lighten will probably be the most natural looking one, and then you can also play with the opacity. If you drop down the opacity, it could look a little bit better too.
And then another thing you can do, like say you want to add like a blast effect, right? So we're going to create a new layer, which is in that group, but I want to move it out of this group and put it there. Put it right here. We're going to make a new layer, and we're going to make this a big brush. We're going to keep our brush though. And we just want to make the cast off, right, of the light from a blast. I'll play more red. Oh, I got the window over here. God bless it. I wonder where it went.
Beauty of having multiple screens.
Yeah, you get lost all the time.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to set this at a red here, but we're not going to be, of course, that red. We got the opacity set at 20-some odd %. We're going to blow this out. Boom. I probably want that a little brighter. We'll hit it one more time.
Yeah.
Boom. One more. Boom. All right. We're pretty much 80%. We clicked it 4 times, right? So what we can do here is, so you've got this on here. This is a whole new layer, its own layer, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to show you what that blend if does. So you click on that same layer you just did, and then you're going to blend if.
Yep.
And look at that. It's still got some of that red saturation on them, but all that black has been reclaimed, and it looks more like a light cast, although my light's in the wrong spot. So let me just grab that and move it, because it should be more right.
There we go.
Actually, well, really, that should be
a little bit lower. There we go.
And I probably got to resize that because it's not screen. You think that that's not going to be an issue, that that's not on the screen?
It is, yeah. You can
but it will
see where it cuts off,
because you're going to see like lines later on.
Yeah, you can clearly see it.
So, right here, I got all this spill red I can say is caused by the gun. Then you can, of course, put another layer mask on there, and you grab your paintbrush again and just kind of use the feather and just kind of control it a little bit. Just come around, because some of this fall off's a little ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. So now you've made the effect of the blast, the light cast by the blast, and it's hitting your figure. It's showing on your figure. In fact, I think it's making the Stormtrooper a little too red. So let's see if we can adjust that. So let's see what happens here.
Back on the highlights.
And just bring it out of the highlights a little bit. He's still pretty red on this side.
Yeah.
So, but we've brought it down from here too. So let's go back to the mask, and we're gonna bring it down some because it doesn't be quite that big. I'm gonna just reclaim some of that from him. It's gonna be like, let's get a little bit of that back. Really, on the back side of him, that red shouldn't cast.
Yeah.
Not like that. So we're just hitting the button a few more times to get multiple because I'm still at an opacity of 20%. So we're just hitting multiple times, so it keeps sampling and keeps doing that. And you use your left and right brackets to resize. That's the way I do it anyway. I just curve this a little bit. But there you go. So we got.
I think the best way I find to resize your brush is to hold down Control Alt and then right mouse button, and then you can kind of move the mouse, and then it's like in real time you can change the size of it, and then you can also change the opacity as well.
Ooh, Harold, man, that armor is looking good, dude. Check out Harold's armor shot.
Ooh, look at that.
That's some nice use of lighting.
That's a poster shot right there.
Yeah, really nice. That is really great. So you got your two light sources left and right. Look like they're on the ground.
Looks like there's one on top as well.
Yeah. That's what I'm seeing anyway, unless Harold wants to point out anything else that we don't know. You even get a nice glint off of her. Oh, you got a blue light there somewhere. Look at that. Sneaky.
A bit of blue in there. Yep, on the right there.
Blue there. So you got a blue light coming off from there. What are you shooting with, Harold? Is this a phone or is this a camera? I'm just curious. What do you think? What do you think, Harry?
This, I can't tell. This looks like it could be on a phone. Can I see the other pictures that he does?
Oh.
Maybe that could be. Oh, I don't know. This got to be on a camera, I think.
I think he's using a Rebel. Actually, I think no. This is one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. That's the Rise of Skywalker. Yeah, I think so.
My call is I'm going to make a hashtag. I don't know what I'm going to make it yet. I need to make a hashtag, and what we'll do is we'll have that so we can go over the shots and stuff. I think it's going to be the best way to do it. So you just upload them to Instagram. Make sure you use the hashtag. Got an idea what we should name it, Harold or Harry?
What was that again? Sorry, I'm reading the comments.
The hashtag. I'm trying to figure out what I should name the hashtag for people to share photos.
Oh, actually, that's interesting. I don't know. It could just be something like simple, like Maz share photo hashtag.
I have the Vader Maz hashtag, but that's pretty much just I send my own shit there.
Okay.
But I guess we could. People have tagged me through there before.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Canon Rebel. Yep. I was like, this is too good for some iPhone shots.
Yeah, we'll just use Invader Maz.
Yeah, I think
Invader Maz, and we'll be able to look through Instagram and look at that. Where is my damn mouse? Holy Christ! All right. So that's just a basic rundown what you can do with Photoshop. What I've been meaning to do, and I should have done it for this, for this shot here. Is what I've been meaning to do is, save the stuff. Actually, you know what I can do? We can go back here and we can open. Let's develop here. Edit Photoshop, and I think it should ask me if I want to edit original. Maybe? No? Did it get drunk?
Maybe it's on another screen again somewhere. Yep.
God.
There you go.
Edit original. Oh my God. All right.
There you go. Got all your layers there too.
We can look at the breakdown of this. All right. So this is a great thing here. All right. So it starts out. This is the raw picture with no effects of any kind, right? So as you see, I only got one bit of blocks here. And then what I did is I came in and ooh, that looks like crap. Is that supposed to look like crap? Oh, that's why it looks like crap.
There we go.
All right. So we put this layer below that layer to kind of help sell that it's in the wall a little bit better. So that's what we did. So what I did is I went online and I found some explosion sparks, whatever.
Sparks.
And I put those in, sized them appropriately. I added a blur to them. You see this Gaussian blur here. And then we masked. What did we mask? Disable layer mask. Oh, we were just masking the edges out. Yeah. Okay. Enable, because we definitely want those back. So I masked most of the edges of the because I did a screen. If you see here, it's set to screen. Although lighting probably would work better, wouldn't it?
I think screen actually works better for for this kind of stuff.
The screen seems to add a little more smokiness to it, whereas lighting
A little
would
bit, yeah.
clean.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wow, I kind of
But
like
usually, when you have something on a black background, I think screen is still a little bit better. But I mean, it honestly depends on what you're going for.
that. I'm gonna put it back on. I'm gonna
Go with lighting. Okay, cool.
But the picture's already done. I've already uploaded it.
Mhm.
Actually, that you can see the wall better, but see what happens when I do lighting is it makes this less impactful here.
Yep.
This doesn't have it doesn't sell the scene anymore. Even though it looked like garbage before I layered this back on. Let's go back over here and put it back to screen.
Yep.
And it just looks like a lot more is going on. It doesn't really change anything other than adding a kind of a
haze
around it almost. Yeah. Just a texture detail to it. And then the last thing I did after I put this in here, because again, most of this is in camera, is I added, this is the paintbrush here. I just grabbed a bright color, made an oversized paintbrush, and dabbed it a couple of times here. And then I ran it through the underlying design layer here. I pulled out some of the stuff there. Didn't touch this side. And then I did a second one. And it gave like that more explosiveness to this, because it's basically it just soloed that center area of it. And again, I played with the blend if, and we took away and got some of our shadows back. So that's how that worked. So there's the breakdown of this shot and how this worked. Anything you would have done differently, Harry, after seeing this?
No, honestly, like that's the overall process for every single thing that I do as well. So if you're new to Photoshop, play around with blend modes, play around with masking. I think those are the two things you should probably check out if you're pretty new.
And YouTube is your friend.
Yes.
When it comes to learning Photoshop. Pixel Imperfect, he's one of the big YouTubers that does a whole bunch of Photoshop tutorials. You can tend to find what you're looking for by just Googling or searching YouTube, and he'll be usually the guy teaching you how to do the thing you're trying to do. In fact, Photoshop, though, has grown a lot in the past couple of years. It's like select subject has gotten so much better than it used to.
Very good. Hair as well.
Yeah, hair. Actually, I haven't played too much. No, not many of my things have hair.
But they improved the hair selection quite a bit.
But select subject. I use that all the time when I'm making like these, logos for thumbnails and stuff. For when I'm making these thumbnails and stuff. Actually, none of these are pertinent. They're not. None of these are not like this. This is a select subject here. Just pulled out one of my shots that had a very dark background as it was. I didn't have to do much to it to pull it out. So you can do that, and then do a layer mask of that, and that way it's non-destructive. And same thing with Sir Dork's logo here when I did that. So, good times. Noodle salad. Let's see, what else can we go over? We went over this guy, right?
Yep, you did. And that too.
And this guy.
Oh, that's the pose you were talking about with him being under his arm there, huh?
Yeah, I had a hard time with it. I mean, I wanted to do the gut punch / rocket blast with his thing there, but I couldn't get that to look right. It looked like they were trying to do something not savory for the internet. And plus, his legs just wouldn't bend. I mean, I could have gotten around that actually, but I just decided to do the headlock and shooting thing. I forewent trying to put beams in though, because the perspective is just weird for trying to draw those out.
Yeah.
And I've never been, when he's pointing at the camera, I have a really hard time getting the perspective right.
Yep.
So I just went with the glare from the beams.
Okay. Okay.
But one thing I did make sure to do is when I did this, this is this one. Let me find this one, because again, we can do what we did here. It's not on this one, right? No. Okay. Nope. Aha. So yeah, I tried to do the gut punch here, and it just looked weird. And then you see how quickly he changed to that. All right, so where is? All right, where are we at? Oh, this one, I think. We're gonna edit this in Photoshop, and hopefully it. Oh, good. Edit original.
There you go.
I moved it once. It should stay.
Yeah, and it should know. It should know.
I could close that. That probably would have helped my life. Oh well. It's weird. My computer's. No, it's still in TIFF. It's huge. All right.
Yeah.
I did a lot to this one. Let me close this and get this out of the way.
Cool.
What are you doing? No, don't save changes to anything. Go away. That can go away too. No, don't save changes. Just like clean environments.
Yeah.
All right. So
here we go. A lot more going on in this one here.
Yeah, there's a lot more going on. I did a lot more posts, and it's mainly to do with the laser beam, to be honest with you. So I think if I alt click, there's the raw shot. That's completely raw. So what I did here is I took a red light, of course, and shined it at him to get the red casting on him, because I knew he was going to be shooting that red laser thing, right? And then I tried playing with that stuff. I don't think I ended up using that. So if we hit Alt again, no, is it Control? Which one lights them? Ah, no. Which is it that lights them all back up?
Shift, I think.
Nope.
Shift, I think.
I was doing both. Shift, Alt, Control. I tried them all. Oh, well. All right. So the next part I did here is I just created a mask of him on top of this background, because I'm gonna add a background. All right. So I if I do this, actually I cut him out because I wanted to just manipulate the background. Sorry, a little confusing there. Which it really could do it either way, but I wanted to get the sky in there. So what I did then is I imported a sky texture, from the internet, wherever, on top of my background. And of course, he's not there to distract you right now. And then I added some, that's on him. All right. I added a blur to this background. And let me put him back in here. All right. So there you go. So the sky that I had a picture of, it was all very sharp clouds. And so it wouldn't have sold the depth that the clouds were at. And then let's see, I have these dust particles I put in here. You always want to try to add some kind of extra little effects or whatever, especially when you're adding like a background or a floor or any of that kind of element, because it's going to help merge it all together into one cohesive. Even if they don't quite match up color-wise, it's going to help them pull along. And then the next thing is this lens flare. Look at that. That's not the right color. What's up with that? Boom.
There we go.
So we did the other lens flare. We got some red going on with some masking. And then boom. Second one. So we did two of those to make it even more punchy, because we're already at max punchy, but not max punchy. So we did the first one, and you see it's not quite enough glow there. It looks kind of,
Yeah.
you get the blue ring still, and it's just not selling it the way you want to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you punch it up, and you get that even brighter. Like this is like real something happening here. And then we did a hue saturation layer, which obviously that button did nothing. I don't know. And then it curves. Why did I? It still doesn't look right. Did I forget something?
Yeah, it's not really doing anything.
It's not doing anything. It's like a Fisher-Price control knob. What happened? I don't remember that much blue. Hold on. Huh.
A different shot?
No, it's the same shot.
Oh, it's the same shot. Okay.
I know I put like an effect in. But see, yeah, it should.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't have the blue turned on when you exported it?
That's not it. What is that? Bokeh overlay? I don't think I use that. Yeah, maybe I don't have the blue. Still doesn't look right, but it takes away the
Yeah, it does look.
Lightroom effects, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, the blue one wasn't on. All right, my bad. I went without blue.
Yeah, there you go.
I was driving me nuts. But yeah, we even went so far to get some of that red on his helmet here. Just a little bit though, because that red's going to cast all the way across Boba's body and hit one of that white reflective stormtrooper stuff, right? So there's a good way to do shots is to, especially if you want to put in an effect later like this, like you're going to use a laser blast or something, you want to bring like a real light to cast that light. It's not going to be 100% in the way it's going to hit the figure, but it's going to do a lot of your work for you without having to do Photoshop. But Harry likes Photoshop.
I like Photoshop.
So, Harry, I wish we could pull apart some of your stuff like this.
Yeah, I was gonna try and see if I can get that working, but I don't know. It keeps telling me that I'm running out of space. So,
how much hard drive space do you have?
I think I have about maybe 4 gigs left overall. But let me see if I can. Yeah, let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, it should be enough still. So I don't know why it's not letting me. One sec. Let's see.
And it works when we're not on the computer, right? It works when we're not here, right?
Actually, lately it's not working for me.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think it's just because when I pull up like an old project, for some reason why it doesn't work. If I start a new project, then it's like, all right, that's fine. But if I open like an old shot, then it just starts to fall apart. But let me see if I can. Maybe today it works.
Come on, computer.
Yeah. Where's the shot that I'm looking for?
That'd be awesome, H Green. Yeah, just H Green. When you take your shots, man, just take your time with it. I remember you mentioned one day that you just didn't have enough time to get something the way you wanted it, and there's no rush. If you can't nail what you want to nail, come back to it when you can. I can't remember what specifically we were talking about when that came up, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. Just there's no rush. This is not a race. How are we looking, Harry?
I think it's actually working. Let me prep it really quick.
All right, let me get this off my screen and let's get stop sharing. Harold sent the photo.
It's actually not as this is not the actual shot that I wanted.
All right, somebody on Instagram wants to send me a message. Who is this? Image is blurred to protect my. Seriously? Why?
It's actually not a good example.
All right, hold on there, Mike. Got some stuff going on here. What else?
I guess this is a good example. It's not like the finished picture, but it'll probably get the idea across. Let's see. Share.
So at the bottom of your screen here, there should be a share icon.
Okay, share screen. I'm gonna choose
You
window.
choose a window if you want, or
Yep. I'm gonna do this. Hopefully that's showing.
boom.
Cool.
You are now sharing that on the stream.
Okay, awesome. So this is one of the Superman shot that I worked on, and this is basically like the most basic setup. I don't have any like effects on here, but I'm just gonna show like how I did the lighting. So this is my main picture right here, the first picture that I would use for the base, and then on top of that, I will layer, more lighting on top. So like this is another picture that I shot with different lighting, and I'll go in here, I'll throw that in here, and then I'll set the blend mode on lighten, because this is what it looks like normally. But when you set that to lighten, it'll blend that in with the bottom layer, and it'll look a little bit more natural.
So wait, let me stop you. So all you
Yeah.
did was duplicate the layer.
Oh no, this is a different, completely different
it's a
picture.
different shot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So when the other shots with a different light, and you just hit lighten.
Yep.
And
then
that's
I
all
throw
you've
that in
done.
there. That's all
You
I
haven't
did.
painted anything. You haven't masked
Nope.
anything. You just hit
Nope.
lighten.
This is no mask, just the other picture with lighten on.
All right,
Yeah,
so
and then I
all you
played
did
around
was
with opacity a little bit as well.
lighten.
So this is full opacity, and I'll drop it down to maybe 55 or something like that, and then I'll layer another picture with another lighting on top. This is coming from the back a little bit, and then I'm doing the same thing. Set that on lighten, turn down the opacity from 100 to maybe 50 or something, and then same thing, more lighting, a bit more, and then I'll add in the laser eyes to get that effect.
Which you just
So this is another picture as well. Let me see if I'll throw that on normal. Oh yeah, so this is normal right now.
normal.
Yeah, we're normal with the mask on. So I'm gonna disable the mask layer. So that's another picture with the laser eyes. And then I'll just add that in here.
I noticed you didn't use the blend if on the laser eyes.
I'm actually not using blend if. This is just another head sculpt with the light up feature, and I took another picture of that separately. I'll throw that in here, and then I'll give it a mask layer.
Can you try the blend if for me? Will that mess you up? You can always not save it. But...
I'm sorry, what?
Can you try the blend if on me on the laser eyes?
I actually never tried it. Let me try that really quick. I don't know if it does anything, but so how you do that is you just double click on the layer, and then you go down here, and then you can kind of blend that.
You want to do the other side.
Hold down Alt. Yeah. So that's for the highlight, and then I can put that in there. It doesn't look
working because the center
best.
It's not taking the edge part of it. It's taking the center.
Yeah,
part.
yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's basically like the the basic setup, just the main picture with basically no lighting, and then you keep adding more light on top until you get
several shots with lights in different positions. You're not moving the lights or anything. You just like you put the light over here, take a shot. Put the light over there, take a shot.
Yep, that's exactly what I do. Yeah, and actually this is a video that I record because I'm using a cinema camera. So I'm basically I just click record, and then I'll move the light around. It's basically light painting. And then I'll pick out, whichever frame that I like the most with the best lighting, and then I'll just export that frame out, and then use that as a picture, and then you just layer on top of each other, blend them in to each other, and then that's the final.
That's a way to get to work with the background too, though, because that's one of the things I've had a hard time because that's a screen behind it. It's a monitor.
That's a screen, yes.
With a shot of the film, whatever.
Yep, I think that
I have is getting the lighting right for all the angles.
Yeah, and that's how you do that. And sometimes you would have like a light. I don't know if you can see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes you would have like a light source coming from back here, and the only way to do that is to take your light and then put it like here, and then you would see that in frame. So that would be a problem. Then you would have to take it in here, set that on lighten, and then just mask out the light. Yeah, mask out the actual light that you see on screen, and that will give you, a pretty, convincing result.
Okay.
Yeah. So lighting in post, gives you the most power, in my opinion, because then you can come in and change things you don't like, change the color of the light. You can do all of that in post. So I would recommend doing
Now, how
that.
do you change the color of the light? Because that's something actually I keep forgetting.
Yeah. So let's say if you want to change just like the red right here, a filter I like to use the most is actually called camera raw filter. And you go into filter right here,
Mhm.
and you just click on camera raw filter, and you click that. I don't know, is it gonna show up? Because it's like a separate window.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's gonna show up, but oh, okay, it's frozen here.
It's
One
working.
sec.
Give it a
Is
minute.
that showing up?
Well, no, it's not showing up yet, but it looks like it's chomping on it. And because you're
Okay.
streaming, it might be taking a
Okay,
little longer.
so a separate screen just popped up. I don't know if it's showing that.
No,
It's not showing that. Okay, so let me see if I can
you have to
switch
change your
over to
share
that.
to the other window.
Okay, let me see if I can do that really quick.
Or you can share the whole screen, but I don't know if you got
Yeah,
some
actually,
appropriate stuff to
let me
share.
see if I can-
I don't want to get all intrusive
nope.
and be like,
Yeah,
what
no, it's fine. I don't really have anything. It's just
That's what you say, and then we see the
Mhm.
grandma stuff.
yeah, and then you're like, oh no. Yeah, I don't think sharing window is working. I'm gonna have to share an entire screen.
Say again?
I might have to actually share the entire screen. Yeah, I don't think the window is actually working.
All right. Well, if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Commander Cook, man, don't just stop by. Stick around, man. Grab a chair. Grab a drink. Grab a snack.
I don't know why. Oh, there you go. Because it wasn't letting me. Okay, so now I'm sharing my entire screen. I hope.
Oh my God, it's the Matrix.
No. Yeah. So okay, here we go. Can you see that now?
Yes.
This window. Okay, cool. So what I would do is, you go into filter and turn on camera raw filter, and then what you can do is go down here to color mixer, and in here you have all these options where you can pick reds. You can change your red to yellow, and then I would recommend duplicating it, and then do your adjustments there, and then mask in the area that you want to change. So yeah, you can go in here, you can change the red to any other hue that you want. You can make it, a little bit more.
Well, you said color swap. I assumed you could like go straight out of the red into like green or something or blue.
Yeah, you can do that as well. Actually, I like here you don't have that much power here.
Yeah, that's
you
what I
can
was confused when you went to camera roll. It's like,
whoops. So you can
the
also.
time is 6:32 there.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Oh.
So, or another thing you can do is just duplicate this layer right here, and then you can just go down to, let's say, let's do this so it's not instructive. Go down to adjustments, and you can do a hue. Where's hue? Hue and saturation. Clip that on the bottom, and then you can go in here and kind of just change that blue to kind of whatever you want. I mean, the red to whatever you want.
Give you the right colors, man. It always like if you want to take a color that's already in the shot and change something to that color.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, say you want to match the red with the red of his cape, for example. So
Okay.
That red. Is there a way to use a color picker to grab the red that you want?
Like to change the laser eyes to match his cape?
Yeah, for example. Just for example.
Actually, I
know
don't
there's a way.
know.
I just can't remember how to do it.
Yeah, I think there is a way. I'm actually not sure how to use the color picker for that.
All right.
So
I
would.
So I already know this particular method that you're using.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how to do that method, but I usually just
go
go in
the
here.
right tones when I try to do that. Like especially when I've taken a picture and used like that red, for example, for like that one picture I was just showing you. Let me share my screen here again.
Yeah.
Go back to that and share. It got rid of you. I'm sorry. You can keep.
Do you need me to stop sharing?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Let me just find my. Oh my God, where's my stuff? All right. So, for example, okay, if you look closely, you got this color here, right?
Mm-hmm.
This red doesn't quite match that.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was trying to use that tool you were just using, but I need to be able to get that right because this is more of an orange, whereas this is more of a pinkish red. So I was just wondering if you knew how to address
Yeah,
that.
so how I would do that is just, duplicate the layer, and then I'll go into camera raw filter, or then I can just add another adjustment layer, and I'll adjust the glare on the visor to match the red, and then I'll just kind of mask out the areas that I don't want to be affected, and I'll just keep that one glare on the visor. Yeah.
All right.
That's just one way to do it manually. I don't know how to use the color picker for that, but
yeah,
that's what I would do.
I know you can do it, and I have to just take a minute to Google it to.
Yeah.
I've do it in the tutorials before. I just
Mhm.
I don't use it enough to
Yeah.
just know where to go.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm not, by all means, a Photoshop expert or anything. I just kind of mess around.
Wait, you're not?
No, yeah, not
I
at
have the wrong
all.
theory?
But yeah, doing it manually is how I've always done it, and I think it works the best because you do have the most control. So I'll probably stick with that. But it's up to you. If someone else finds a better way to do that, then go ahead. But I find this to be the most effective way. But yeah, so that's the same thing I did. Basically, what Moss was talking about the whole time is you just overlay them on top of each other, set the blend mode to lighten. I think that works the best. Then you just keep adding light until you kind of just match the background, and that's when you know that it's good.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
so
have to play around with that method though, because
and then for sure.
that would open up so many more doors if I can get the background and with the screen thing working for me.
Yep.
Instead of having to build a wall, which worked out. I don't have enough money or time to build a whole bunch of dioramas.
Yeah, exactly. I think another thing is when you use like a screen in the background, it's basically in camera, so you get like a really nice blur between the background and the subject, and it looks more natural. And it doesn't look like there's a harsh cut.
And what size screen you got there? I'm just curious.
This is a 65-inch.
God, I don't have that big of a screen.
Oh, you don't have one? Oh.
Well, I do in the living room. But
it's in the living room. That makes sense.
Sit up and take pictures in there.
Yeah. So I actually just have this in my room, so it works out perfectly.
My screen that I can play off of is 40 inches, so that creates a whole bunch of problems.
I think that should be enough for smaller scale shots.
I'd have to take like half body shots or something.
Yeah.
If I want to be able to play with angles at all.
But yeah, so I would recommend if you start out to just use a screen, because you're basically cutting down your editing process by like half by doing that.
Yeah.
So, and then I'll take this, I'll export the whole thing out, and then I'll add that to my other preset that has like the the black bar and my logo and everything, and then I'll do a little
preset.
Yeah, I made like a little preset where it's got the black bar and like some
okay, we'll be prepared to talk over that next week because I'm curious about that.
For sure, we can talk about that too. And then I'll throw in like some final effects in that. Like I'll throw in some like floating rocks or anything like that here.
Yeah.
And then I'll call it done. Yeah. And I'll make some final color adjustments in there as well. And that should be done. Yeah.
Dude, this is awesome.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
I want to learn how to do this.
I mean, you already know how. I feel like you might even be a better Photoshopper than I am, to be honest.
I don't know about all that.
Yeah. You were talking about blend ifs and stuff, and I'm still kind of messing around with that, so I'm not.
I've watched that Pixel Imperfect guy quite a bit, man. I'm just waiting for the day he actually takes care of that unibrow. Just
that's what I'm thinking the whole time. Like, dude, like I know.
I'm like, dude, you seem to have money and like some kind of influence, and just you can't go see somebody. And just...
It might be a trademark, kind of like what's his face, Anthony Davis. Yeah,
it's his choice. I'm not going to judge him, but I'm like looking at him going, that's kind of distracting.
It is a little distracting, yeah. So Pixel Imperfect, if you're watching, hey man, we love you, but
we love you.
a little grooming wouldn't hurt.
Have you gotten a tablet yet for your editing? I've been looking into that too.
The what?
A tablet, one of those like the Wacom tablets or whatever.
Oh no, actually, I have the like the basic one. Let's see if I can stop sharing and show that. Yeah, I have this. This is what I use to do all of my sculpting and photoshopping. But if you have the money, I would recommend getting the Cintiq, because you can
Getting
draw
which-
directly on the screen, and that's way better than having to like just kind of feel.
Wait, get which one? Get which one?
The one it's called Cintiq.
Okay, so it's not Wacom, it's Cintiq.
Yeah, so it's Wacom Cintiq. Yeah, it's still the brand, the same brand, but the product is called something different. This is an Intuos Pro, so it's a regular tablet. You can plug that into your PC, and then you can just kind of, mess around with that. But if you have the Cintiq, then you can just draw directly on the screen, so you don't have to, play guessing.
$500, dude.
Yeah. So.
That's a 16-inch Wacom Cintiq.
Yeah. How much did you say that was?
$519.
Yeah. So now it's probably a good time to pick one of those up, because they used to be like $2,000 to $3,000.
Oh, no, a lot of them are that price now.
Yeah.
But this one's $519. It's used.
Okay, yeah. So if you can find a used one, honestly, like that's fine.
Amazon's got the one for $649. I don't know anything but the differences here, but
Yeah. So I think it depends on. There are two kinds: the ones that you have to plug into your PC that you have, and then you use that as like a separate monitor, or you can buy the one that's actually a PC itself, so you don't have to plug it into anything, and you can just use that on the go. You can take it to wherever.
so what you're saying is I shouldn't have bought the second camera. I should have bought one of those. So
I mean, it depends.
Wacom, like what you got there, but you say is it tricky to line up your shots and stuff with
Yeah,
that?
it's with this. It's a little tricky at first. You kind of have to play like a guessing game. It's like, okay, where is it? But then
I would figure the game is like, where is my actual mouse pointer in relation to?
yeah. So how that works is that when you have the pen, when you hover on top of it, then you can kind of see your mouse cursor move around, and then when you touch the pad, that's when it's actually doing the drawing.
Okay. Doesn't sound too bad for
Yeah,
editing.
so it's not too terrible, but it does get some, it does take some getting used to at first.
Yeah. And I've also saw when reading it that you have to worry about the pin nubs like running down or something, or replacing the pins.
They actually come with a bunch of tips that you can switch out. Let me see if I can. I don't know where my pen is, but it comes with this little base thing, and inside of it, they have like different kinds of tips. They have like a bunch of black ones. Oh, sorry.
Trying to fall over.
On an unbalanced surface here.
Phone, you're drunk.
So it comes with the regular black tip. These are like the harder ones. I don't know if it's gonna focus or anything. Yeah, but these are the harder ones. Yeah. Or you can, if you like the feeling of pencil on paper, they also come with these little white ones that kind of simulates the feeling of pencil on paper.
And are those the ones that run down you have to replace or something? Because I was reading like reviews that the tablet like the thing like rubs away the nubs or whatever, and you have to replace them or something.
Yes, the nubs do rub away, and you have to replace them. So they come with like a good amount of them that you can replace, but when you run out, you can buy replacements. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's not really a problem to me. The main problem is this right here, like this actual surface right here.
Yeah.
So the more you draw on it, you can kind of see the scratches and how it's. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
if you can kind of see that.
bit,
Yeah.
Kind of
a little bit of that weird. Yeah. And what it does is that it kind of makes it feel really weird when you have your tip.
Well, there's a glove that a lot of people wear too, so you don't like rub off of it, which is probably what a lot of that is from your hand rubbing off.
I think the glove is mostly for the Cintiq, so it's for the actual screen, because you don't want your hand to like accidentally touch stuff and move stuff around. So I think they wear the gloves to prevent that from happening. Mostly, I think. Yeah. To prevent your fingers from touching random buttons. I think you can turn off touch, but yeah, I'm actually not
trying to draw with my mouse when I'm drawing like with the pen tool or any of that kind of stuff. It's infuriating sometimes.
Yeah. Actually,
one mouse is one of these. I use this on the laptop. This is wireless, and it's just.
Actually, when I'm doing Photoshop, I don't usually use the tablet at all. I go mouse and keyboard.
That's my mouse. Yeah.
When I'm doing sculpting and 3D sculpting and stuff, that's when I'm using the tablet. And, Commander Crook, thank you. I didn't see that. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he dared it, but yeah. He said there's apparently some developments in Russia and Ukraine that he's very interested in.
Cool.
So we may need to go and watch the news or something. But
yeah. Wow. Yeah, I don't really pay attention to the news anymore. I think every time I look at the news, I just want to off myself. So
every time I look at the news, I'm like, wow, more commercials.
yeah.
I'm like that dude in the movie Signs, man. He's like, it's just all a ploy for commercials, man. He's just trying to sell sodas. Or in this case, nowadays, it's geriatric medicines, but whatever.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yeah, the world's in a weird place, and that's why I got into toy photography, because it's just way better. It's just way better to have your own little world, and you can do whatever you want. There's no politics. There's no random bull crap in there. So
decide your own level of involvement. So
yep.
You watching Book of Boba Fett tonight?
Oh yeah, that's tonight. Yes, of course I am.
Hopefully something actually happens that's worth it.
Yeah. I thought episode 4 was pretty good.
It was better than episode 3.
Yes, episode 3. We don't talk about episode 3. Like, I don't know if Robert Rodriguez is like a good person to do Star Wars. So far, episode 1 and episode 3 were done by him, and they were both kind of just nah. Yeah. So I don't know.
If you ask a single songwriter, I think he said, and I don't know if he's in here right now. He pops in and out. He's probably in another stream right now, because I think there's another Hot Toy guy streaming right now. He said that the episode 1 was actually just an amalgamation of stuff that didn't fit anywhere else, and they wanted 7 episodes, so they just
interesting,
something like that. And I was like, really?
That felt more like episode 3. Yeah, I don't know why or who made that decision to just turn that into Spy Kids. It's like, I mean, I love Spy Kids,
Rodriguez, I'm sure, because he did Spy Kids. So
I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Spy Kids, like back when I was 10, but now it's like, all right, well,
I missed that age. I was already by the time that came out. So
yeah, so
I'm old.
Yeah.
It disgusts me. My kid's older than you. It's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy. Yep. I'm exactly the same age.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
That's right.
27. Right. Yep. 27.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's crazy. Well, Harry, I think we're gonna go ahead and shut this down. It's been about 4 hours
for sure. Tonight. Yeah.
Saturday, stream. I hope you can make it. Let me know if anything pops up. But Saturday,
I think I should be able to. Yeah.
Eastern.
Yeah.
We'll talk
about we'll talk about Hot Toys, and I'll try, and because I'm really trying to do a shoot before that, so I'll try and shoot something, and then I'll try and make like a little BTS maybe video that I can show and talk a little bit more about. We
can share on here and discuss and like.
Yeah,
the YouTube or the Instagram is nice and a clutch. Like we were going over David's stuff like on his Instagram, because he does a lot of his BTS on there.
Yeah.
The only issue is you can't like pause it, and you can't make it any bigger. It's
exactly. So
it's where it lives.
Yeah. So I'll try and get something going, and then maybe I'll do like a live editing as well, just to do the whole process.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. But what did I say we want to talk about next week?
Probably Hot Toys, or next week, or this Saturday.
Yeah. Remember I said we'll talk about this next week. I'm getting old. I forget stuff.
Hey, me too.
I was counting on you.
Smoke way too much.
Well, no, I just
I smoke way too much.
There's something I was saying that we should save for next week and talk about.
I actually don't recall.
Anybody paying attention? Remember what I said? Jesus, man.
The only thing I remember was talking about Hot Toys and its releases maybe on Saturday. That's the only thing I can't remember.
Yeah, Saturday we'll talk about the Hot Toys stuff. Everything's going on with Hot Toys.
Okay.
But next Tuesday, I'm going to have you in here again.
Okay.
Because I think what we're going to start doing is, if I can get a guest, that's great. But if you're good for being here, I'm just going to have you, me, and then the guest.
Yeah, for sure. Like, so, I'm totally okay with that. Yeah.
So that will work out.
I'm honored.
So everybody, welcome Cinematoygrapher. He's going to be designated co-host of this particular show.
Amazing. I'm honored.
So, but with that though, I'm going to go because I have to use the restroom again. I'm old.
Yeah.
I'd rather not just leave you here by yourself.
Aren't we all?
So
All right.
have a great night, guys. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Please subscribe if you're not already subscribing. And also go check out Cinematoygrapher on Instagram.
Thank
That's how you can find them, but just put the little @ symbol and a underscore, then Cinematoygrapher, and then another underscore, and there you have them. I will get him in the link in the description below once this is done, because it won't let me do it until it's done rendering at this point. But I'll update that and get it in there so it's in there, and we'll keep you in there from now on.
Yeah,
so
sounds good. Thank you. Again, thank you, Mr. Moss. You are amazing for doing this. We definitely need this as a community. So
eventually
thank
it's
you.
going to really take off, I think. But
Mhm.
I'm wondering if Tuesday is the best night in general.
Okay.
Oh, hell with it. We'll
We'll
get
figure
some
it out.
trucking, and if people want to watch it, they'll watch it.
Yep. Yeah, and also thank you guys for showing up and watching, because without the audience, like, what's the point of even doing this, right? So yeah, appreciate it a bunch, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, man. So we'll see you Saturday though for
Yes.
Toy Talk.
Yeah,
All
for
right,
sure.
take it easy, Harry. Have a good night.
Awesome. Take it easy. Have a
Thanks
good
a
night,
lot,
sir.
guys, for watching. Appreciate it.
Bye, guys.